Well, it sounds repetitive, but another warm, humid night here at Veterans Stadium. Kind of fitting for Mark Whiten's return to the National League. It feels like a night at Busch Stadium. A warm evening for baseball. The Phillies and Rockies will wrap up their short two-game series tonight. Let's take a look at that Colorado Rockies lineup. Leading off in left field, Eric Young. Mike Kingery, the center fielder. Ellis Burks has a slight hamstring problem. He is out of the lineup against the lefty. Dante Bichette in right. Andres Galarraga at first. Vinny Castilla at third. Joe Girardi behind the plate. Jason Bates at second base. Walt Weiss the shortstop. And on the mound, Bill Swift.
And here's the way the Phils will go tonight on defense. Lenny Dykstra in left. Van Slyke in center. And newly acquired Mark Whiten will start the game tonight in right field. Charlie Hayes, Kevin Stocker, Mickey Morandini, and Greg Jeffries around the horn. Behind the plate, Darren Dalton. And making his first start in the National League for a while, left-hander Jim Deshaies.
Tonight's Phillies starting pitcher du jour is Jim Deshaies, just up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre. There's what he did in 19 starts. 7 and 8, as you can see on the year, 117 in the third innings. He did not walk many at all, just 2 per 9 inning, and struck out 79. Last year, Deshaies pitched with the Minnesota Twins, and he is back in the National League once again. He pitched with the San Francisco Giants, the Houston Astros for a number of years, as well as the San Diego Padres in '92. Deshaies 7 and 8 with a 3.45 ERA in his 19 starts at AAA. And he is working on 5 days rest. This guy's not working on much rest. He arrived at 3:47 in the afternoon and came out to the vet, met with the press, took a few balls in right field and some cuts in the cage, and he is ready to make his return to the National League tonight, where he says he's much more comfortable, even though he started his young career with the Toronto Blue Jays organization.
See, Eric Young's going to play tonight. As Todd mentioned, Burks has a hamstring problem. They're giving Larry Walker the night off because of the left-hander Deshaies. Bates will play second base, and we've seen him bat left-handed, and he can hit left-handed. Right-handed, his numbers aren't so hot, so they'll turn him around and maybe make him less effective, because Jason Bates has been a real good player against the Phillies in the few games they've seen him.
Jim Deshaies, 6'5", 220-pound left-hander, and his first pitch as a Philly is a called strike, 0-1.
Deshaies used to be a high fastball pitcher who could fire, and then he had some arm problems, and since then, you know, he's been a guy that's been a finesser. But at one point in his career, heck, he struck out 8 straight batters in a game one time to tie a record or set a record, and that was against the Dodgers, and set a record. So, I mean, you had to throw pretty hard to strike out 8 straight batters at the beginning of a game.
Tonight's umpires behind home plate is Jim Quick, Steve Ripley at first base, Bill Hahn at second, and Brian Gorman at third. 1-1 pitch is fouled out of play, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Started his career in the Yankees organization, pitched with them in '84, Houston '85 through '91, 1 year in San Diego, split the year between San Francisco and Minnesota in '93, and then last year 25 starts with the Twins. He definitely had his troubles at the Metrodome last year. He went a total of 6-12 with an ERA of 7.39 and led the American League in home runs allowed.
Yeah, that place turned into a homer dome for him and Ken, for a lot of pitchers when they go over to play at Minnesota.
170 hits allowed in 130 innings last year. First batter he is facing, Eric Young, has the count full. Eric Young, the Rutgers University football star, didn't really play much baseball until later in his collegiate career. He was just the 6th outfielder his sophomore year when he finally got his first start and hit a couple of home runs his first 2 at-bats. And he sends one into center field for a base hit. So Young starts off with a single to center.
Want to know why this team's in first place in their division? Look at this. I mean, they're fielding the ball well. Their record, their offense, and one thing that's really overlooked about them that the Phillies have seen a lot of this year, they didn't see last night, their bullpen's so much better than it used to be. Jim Deshaies is a guy Todd always used to throw over to first a lot, and he will pick batters off, or pick runners off. So we'll see if he moves over there.
Kingery to bunt and bunts it foul.
And kind of a funky leg kick just then. I don't remember before. Now, maybe he did that before, but he used to move over to first base quite a bit. And he will pick a runner off once in a while. As you look at Don Baylor doing a great job with this club.
"11 games over 500. The best mark ever for a Colorado Rockies team. Chop towards Morandini, who only has the play to first. Eric Young to second with one away.
Happy birthday tonight to Ed Libertor, who's 82 years of age. Eddie, a long-time scout with the Dodgers, the Orioles, and a lot of other teams. And he's worked with us at Dream Week for a long time, one of the great guys in the game. And we wish Eddie a happy birthday. Hope he's enjoying his evening. Hope he's in a nice, cool spot watching this ball game.
Here's Dante Bichette, who had the night off last night, coming in with a team-leading .329 batting average.
17 homers for this guy, all of them at Denver.
He likes that thin air.
Well, you know, it's funny because we've seen him hit him here. He's a big, strong guy, and you know he's going to hit one out of a park somewhere. He'll probably be here tonight, and they'll say, "Oh, you jinxed him." But sooner or later he's going to do that. It's just kind of amazing that he would hit all of them in Colorado, because he's not. It's not like he's some guy that just hits freaky home runs once in a while.
His average is good for 5th in the National League. He also has 23 doubles, which is 4th in the league.
Has a little bit of a sore knee, so he didn't play last night.
Deshays pitched at Lemoyne College outside of Syracuse, New York, and he and Tom Browning were on the same pitching staff that led Lemoyne to the Division II World Series. That was back in 1979. Runner on the move to third. The throw not in time. Eric Young with his team-leading 13th steal of the year.
Yeah, he stole that on Deshays. Deshays did not have him close enough back there, and he just took off. And Dalton makes a good throw there down on the bag, but when a guy gets that kind of jump from second, forget it. Charlie Hayes with a quick tag. The Rockies, you think about them as being a bombardier team, which they are, but here they're kind of manufacturing a run if they can get it. And they do quite a bit of that, more than you would think. And they do swing the bats, Todd. They don't go up there and take a whole lot of pitches. And Deshays gets Dante Bichette, who will strike out a lot.
First strikeout for Deshays and a big out. The Phils were seeding that first run early, but Deshays gets Bichette, and there's 2 away. Here's the cat, Andres Galarraga. 279 on the year, 20 home runs, 60 RBIs. Doesn't lead the team in either category. Tells you something about the power on this team. They already have 3 20 home run hitters.
Hey, he smoked one to right center last time. One thing about Galarraga is he can hit it out anywhere. It doesn't matter with him. And when he is hot, he is one of the toughest hitters in the league. And when he is not hot, he strikes out at a prodigious rate.
He leads the National League in strikeouts. He's struck out 81 times so far this year.
And he's bothered by a sore groin, and he cannot run right now, or he runs very gingerly. And Andres Galarraga is a guy, for a big man, could always run well.
2-0 the count. Big rip and a foul back. It's 2-1.
Here's Kurt Schilling, had an MRI today, and Dr. Marone talking to Jim Fregosi in the dugout before the game. And the preliminary reports on that MRI, from what they could see, is there's no damage in his shoulder, which was good news. So it's just, we'll see what happens with him. They'll give him the medication for the tendonitis and rest him, and hope he comes off the DL and can pitch.
Inside, it's 3-1. Deshays, when he was with the Astros, won it at least 10 games for 4 straight years, 86 through 89.
It's a horrible night to pitch, that's for sure, because it is so hot and humid here.
Fouled back and into the upper deck. Phillies and Rockies only play 6 games this year, with the strike cutting out most of their season series, the fewest of any team the Phillies will play this season. In the air to right field, Witten's first opportunity. It's off his glove. Eric Young scores. Galarraga into second, just barely, and he goes in standing. Well, Mark Whitten was back in his first opportunity as a Philly and made a leaping attempt, but it went off his glove.
Yeah, it's probably scored an error all the way and no RBI. The ball was hit hard, but Whitten misplayed it. You see him leap, and it looked like it hit down on the heel of the glove after he leaped for it. He has an unbelievable arm, as you see there. I mean, look at that arm, how he fired that thing into second and surprised Galarraga. Well, he shouldn't surprise him because they know how he can throw, but that's kind of a shame for him in the first play.
They're going to rule that a hit.
Wow.
Mark Whitten does not get charged with an error. That's going to go as an RBI double and an earned run charged to Jim Deshaies. Here's Vinny Castilla. It's a little bit of a surprise. That's scoring. Castilla sends one into center field in front of Van Slyke for a hit. Galarraga with the bad wheel is being held, and Van Slyke makes a strong throw. And he always leaves his feet when he has to make a strong throw.
Right, and as we talked about earlier, Todd, he has, as you said, the bad wheel there. Normally on a ball like that with 2 outs, you're going to score almost everybody. But they decide to hold him, one, because he can't run, and the other thing is Van Slyke does have a strong arm. But Galarraga is really troubled by that sore groin, and they didn't want to run him into any problems there or have him maybe extend too much and hurt it some more.
So now first and third with 2 outs, and Deshaies will deal with Joe Girardi. Breaking ball for a called strike, 0-1. Girardi has always hit the Phillies, batting .333 in his career.
Hit a home run last night, pulled a shot out of here to left field off Tyler Green. He's hurt the Phillies over the years with a lot of base hits through the middle, so they pinch him up that way.
Outside, it's 1-1. Rockies scoring here in the first inning, taking a 1-0 lead on the double by Andres Galarraga, but really Mark Whitten should have been able to make the play for the final out. Jim Deshaies now trying to wiggle out of a first and third jam. On the ground to Morandini. He flips to Stocker, and that'll do it. But 1 run on 3 hits. 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the first. It's 1-0 Colorado.
Schmitty. Share it a tribute to the man many consider the greatest third baseman of all time and receive a limited edition print by a Hall of Fame artist. The Phillies honor Mike Schmidt Saturday, August 12th before the 8:05 Expos game. Call 463-1000.
At Meisner, we remember the days when shopping for a car was as enjoyable as driving it. We remember because we were there. Since 1954, Meisner has been committed to our customers' satisfaction. We understand that when your car or truck needs to be serviced, you want fast, courteous service, done right the first time. That's why Meisner offers, for your convenience, evening service hours weekdays till 9 and Saturday service hours till 4:30. Meisner Chevrolet Geo Oldsmobile in the Philadelphia Airport Auto Mall.
My dad was always there for me. This was my chance to be there for him. I knew we needed an extra room, but the money was tight. I couldn't have done it without a loan. And my Mellon PSFS banker came through for me. That's what family is all about.
Life Improvement Loans. Call 1-800-MELON-2. 1-800-MELON-2.
Always an awkward time when you join a new team, especially when you misplay a ball in the outfield, and Mariana Duncan saying, hey, that's okay. Get him next time. But Anytime you come to a new team, Wheels, you want to make a strong impression early, and I'm sure Mark Whitten's thinking that right now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he misplayed that ball, but thankfully for the Phillies, it was only one run. It could have been worse.
Let's take a look at that Phillies lineup this evening. Some new faces in that lineup. Lenny Dykstra in left field leading things off. Greg Jeffries at first. Andy Van Slyke, the center fielder. Darren Dalton behind the plate. Mark Whitten in right field. Mickey Morandini at second. Charlie Hayes at third. Kevin Stocker, the shortstop. And Jim DeShays is on the mound.
Defensively, Eric Young in left field, Mike Kingery in center, Dante Bichette playing right field tonight, Vinny Castillo, Walt Weiss, Jason Bates, and Andres Galarraga the infield. Behind the plate, Joe Girardi, and on the mound, a guy who just a couple of years ago in 1993, a 21-game winner with the Giants, sinker baller Bill Swift.
Swift has won 5 in a row for the Rockies. As you can see, overall in the year, he's allowed 79 hits and 32 walks and 74 2/3. He is 6-2 with a 5.42 ERA. He has pitched much better since coming off the disabled list. He was on the DL for 3 weeks in June with right shoulder soreness. Since then, he has had an ERA of 2.33 over his last 5 starts.
Swift is a guy, when he is pitching well, you will see a lot of ground balls. If he's not pitching well, you can handle him because you make him bring the ball up. He's a sinker slider pitcher.
Lenny Dykstra leads things off, and he has a count of 1-1. Making his 10th start against the Phils, 6-1 with an ERA of 4.44.
Yeah, you see 6-1 is good, but the ERA is high because the Phillies have had games where they hit him around. Other games, he dominates them.
In the air to right field, coming on and making the catch is Dante Bichette, and 1 away.
Happy birthday tonight to, or recovering from surgery. We want to send best wishes along to Lil Hens from Southwest Philadelphia. Hope she feels better real soon. And happy birthday tonight to Joseph Perry from up in the Poconos, up in the Wallenpaupack area.
Here's Greg Jeffries with 1 out and nobody on. Jeffries batting .286, keeps that average climbing. Jason Bates, nice diving play.
This guy, you know, he looks like the best second baseman in the league right now. And all we hear from the Rockies is, well, you know, pretty good player, limited range. But it seems like every time the Phillies hit a ball left or right, he's there. I mean, that's a great play he makes. And that's not from limited range either. He had a dive for that.
Very nice play. That ball's almost into the outfield.
Right, and Bill Swift is normally more effective pitching on grass and dirt because he's going to throw a lot of sinkers and hit ground balls, and the ground balls will get through sometimes.
Here's Andy Van Slyke. 2 outs, nobody on. Takes a called strike. 3 years ago, Swift was the National League ERA leader at 2.08. 2 years ago, he was second to Greg Maddux in the Cy Young balloting when he went 21-8 with the Giants. Swift was signed as a free agent before the season this year.
Swift's a good athlete, good fielder, pretty good hitter. Like a lot of sinker ballers, he needs to be a good athlete because he's going to get some action out there because they hit a lot of balls back through the middle against him when he's pitching well, and he can help himself.
There's a base hit into left field in front of Eric Young. Andy Van Slyke, a 2-out base runner.
Happy birthday tonight to Rodney Kiefer, Kerry Kiefer, and Ben Hetrick, all from the same family, and their birthdays all around today. We're not sure what the dates are, but right around today they all are celebrating birthdays, so we'll get them all in one fell swoop.
There's Darren Dalton batting .241. 7 home runs, leads the team. 40 RBI. Swift last year 8-7 with the Giants, spent 2 different stints on the disabled list. Swift's a guy that when he came over from Seattle had been used primarily out of the Mariners bullpen the last 2 years. So there were some doubts whether he could pitch a full season in the rotation, but he answered some of those doubters in '93.
And you see him working away from Dalton carefully. Darren's had good luck against him. 8 for 2,400 with a couple of homers and 6 runs batted in.
(3-0) the count with Mark Whitten waiting on deck. Outside corner, it's 3-1. So quick at first, makes the force out at second. That'll do it for the Phils. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. We head to the second, 1-0 Rockies.
Schmitty, nobody did it better. Join in a tribute to this Hall of Famer before the Expos game Saturday, August 12th at 8:05, and you'll receive a limited edition print compliments of MLB paints. The Expo series starts Friday, August 11th at 7:35, continues Sunday, August 13th at 1:35, when fans 14 and under get the best backpack to ever strap on a back free, and wraps up Monday the 14th with a 105 Mellon PSFS Business Person Special. Call 463-1000.
Want a set of wheels that's really you? Get a Dodge conversion van. There's available Magnum V8 power, plus a driver's airbag, and available 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. Then our factory-approved converters go to work, putting in options like a VCR, TV, cell phone, custom cabinets, and more. Now, if you think you can equip a Dodge conversion van with just about everything but the kitchen sink, you're wrong. You can get that too. Right now, choose $2,000 cash back or 4.9% financing on select Dodge conversion vans.
As a former teacher, I wanted to find out why Norristown School District employees switched their health coverage and chose to go all blue with personal choice.
Freedom. That's what I demand when choosing my doctor or seeing a specialist.
Personal choice makes us feel secure
and appreciate it. I deal with the best doctors and hospitals. With personal choice, I don't have to settle for anything less.
Ask your employer about switching to personal choice. Freedom, quality, and affordability you can lean on.
The easiest and most convenient way to order your Phillies tickets by phone. Just call 463-1000 and order your tickets by phone. Plus, this is your number to order Phillies merchandise, hats, shirts, publications, and much more. The number to know for all your Phillies needs. Area code 215-463-1000. We head to the second inning of a 1-0 ball game. Rockies and Phillies playing for the final time of the season. Phils will play Pittsburgh for a 3-game series in 2 days and then head out to Chicago following the game on Thursday. Thursday a day game at 1:05. Tomorrow a twilight doubleheader, a makeup doubleheader starting at 5:05. Jason Bates the batter, 271 on the year.
Well, he's supposed to be less effective if you turn him around. You know, he's hitting, what, 100 points under what he hits left-handed. So we'll see. We have not seen him bat right-handed yet. He's a pretty good little hitter left-handed.
192 right-handed, 294 left-handed.
Hit that right on the nose.
He didn't switch hit until he was in junior college. He's a natural right-handed hitter, but he's become much better left-handed. But hit into a hard out by the former Rocky.
Charlie Hayes with perfect position. You want to learn how to field, watch that. Get the glove down, get the butt down, and everything stays down.
1 out, nobody on. Here's Walt Weiss. Weiss has done a real nice job for the Rockies this year. 243, 18 RBIs, but he's scored 36 runs and he's reached base a whole bunch of times, including 54 walks.
54 walks, Todd, and he does a great job of getting the pitcher out of the way and turning this potent lineup over a lot of times because they want to get to those bombers in the middle of the lineup, and Weiss does that very well.
Line drive, base hit center field. 4th hit for the Rockies. Weiss a 1-out base runner.
High breaking ball from Jim DeShays, and Weiss, who, you know, as we mentioned, walks a lot. He can also swing the bat in situations where, you know, a walk isn't that big a deal. And right there he got that high breaking ball and ripped it into center. Now Swift will be up there to bunt, and He has one sacrifice so far this year.
Yeah, a little unusual. He only has one at this point. Maybe that's why. Not a good bunt attempt, nothing in one.
Yeah, he's a lifetime 205 hitter, you know, plus 200. That's pretty good for a pitcher.
Including a home run, his first career home run earlier this year.
How about who he hit it off? Wasn't it Nomo?
Mm-hmm. Hideo Nomo.
Yeah, that's not bad. Probably a fastball. They say if you don't hit Nomo early in the count, forget about it.
It's a 3-run home run off Nomo. Oh, he's swinging, and that's why he has one sacrifice bunt. He's a good hitter. Into the corner, dug out by Dykstra, and Bill Swift has a stand-up double.
Yeah, they gave him one shot at the bunt. He made a very poor effort at it, so they took the bunt off, and he hits a ground ball down the line. It wasn't hit very hard, but Charlie Hayes is way up charging, thinking about a bunt, not charged, but, you know, playing up for a bunt, which you think you're going to get there. And there it goes right past Charlie down the line. Up in the corners and back in the middle.
Eric Young taking a called strike, nothing in one.
Best wishes for a speedy recovery to Vince Daly from Ocean City. Happy birthday tonight to Gilbert Mull, number 81, Gilbert from Ephrata, Pennsylvania.
Young singled, stole a base, and scored his first time up. Pop-up, shallow, right center field. Morandini out. Weiss bluffs a go, not deep enough to score the run.
Morandini did a tremendous job of squaring himself just before he was ready to catch that ball. Hasse and Weiss there are watching to see if he's going to catch that ball backpedaling, and that determines whether they're going to send him or not. And watch Mickey right here. Now look, see Weiss, he's going to tag. Now watch. Now Morandini right there squares himself, and they know at that point he can get a lot on the throw, so they're not going to try and send him because he would have had him.
So now 2 outs, runners on second and third. That'll bring up Mike Kingery.
Breaking balls to him his first time up, and he had a couple of, well, he tried to bunt the first time, then he had a weak swing for a ground out, and he starts him with another one. The only left-handed batter in the lineup tonight.
DeShays has never faced the Rockies before because he hasn't pitched much in the National League since they've been a franchise.
Right. Tim DeShays, remember one night here, threw number 548 to Michael Jack, a line drive home run, right? I think it hit the pole. It was right down the line, and that was Schmidt's last homer.
Little flare into center field in front of Van Slyke. Weiss scores. Here comes the pitcher, Swift. He'll score. Over to second goes Mike Kingery. 2 RBI single. It's a 3-0 Rockies lead.
Right off the end of the bat. There you see Kingery pull off the pitch, and he hit it right off the end of the bat, served it into center field, a 2-run single. Not much Van Slyke's going to be able to do about this. So runners going on contact.
Not a lot of pitchers score that easily from second, though.
Oh, he's an athlete. You know, we talked about that earlier. Bill Swift can do a lot of things, and look what he's done for himself in this inning.
He has been in the middle of that 2-run inning to give the Rocks a 3-0 lead. Here's Dante Bichette.
Rockies 8-0 before you could blink last night. Now 3-0 here in the second. I mean, they are a team that they will score runs. And look at the way they scored tonight. They're just bleeding them out tonight. They haven't come close to even hitting a ball hard, really.
Rockies lead the National League in batting average and home runs. High and tight. It's 1-1. DeShays pitched almost all of the '93 season with Minnesota before being traded at the end of the year for the Giants pennant drive to San Francisco. He made 4 starts with the Giants. He was a teammate of Bill Swift's in that '93 season with San Fran momentarily. briefly the last 5 games Deshays pitched on the year with the Giants.
Bichette thinks those pitches are outside, and look at Jim Quick take the mask off. It's a hot night, obviously, here, and the tempers can go fast. When you see the mask come off that quickly, the umpire wasn't pleased with it. Jim Quick, the veteran, is the crew chief of this group here tonight.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Bichette. Dante hit the very first home run, drove in the very first run, scored the first run, all in 1 blast for the Rockies. First ever in their franchise history. That came against the Mets back at Shea Stadium 3 Aprils ago. Outside and low, it's 2-2.
Right, and in their first at bat in their new ballpark at Mile High, the old one actually, should have been an omen for the history of this franchise. Eric Young hit a home run.
Rockies were actually shut out of their very first ever game. Didn't score until the 7th inning of their 2nd game.
Right.
But since then, it's been a lot of offense. 2-2 the count to their RBI leader, Dante Bichette. Swing and a miss on the outside changeup. Bichette goes down for the 2nd time. The only 2 strikeouts for Deshays. Rockies scored 2 more on 3 hits. They lead it at the end of an inning and a half, 3-0.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving, to give you smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks, and we think Power Plus and Power Premium will make quite an impression on you.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Now you can join the Phils next February in Clearwater, Florida at Phillies Dream Week. 1 full week to live, laugh, learn, and play with Boa, Cash, Lazinski, Holland, Hebner, Gross, Callison, Taylor, Fregosi, and many more. Space is limited, so call 215-938-1200 and ask about the no money down payment plan. Don't delay. Call now for a free brochure. That's 215-938-1200 for Phillies Dream Week and memories that last a lifetime.
Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme meets Ford Taurus head-to-head in the Oldsmobile Challenge. And now with the special 4.9% GMAC Smart Lease rate, you can lease Cutlass for only $249 a month. Cutlass has more standard power, more leg and headroom, more resale value. But Cutlass is $2,150 less than Taurus. And now you can lease a new Cutlass for only $249 a month with no security deposit. Move up to Oldsmobile. Take the Oldsmobile Challenge now at your local Oldsmobile retailer.
Hard-hitting Mark Whitten about to make his Phillies debut to lead off the 2nd. Played with the Blue Jays, Indians, St. Louis, most recently Boston, and now the Phillies, all in the span of the last 6 seasons. Mark Whitten comes over to the Phils from Boston for Dave Hollins, and he will lead off the bottom half of the 2nd inning.
First thing you notice about him, way off the plate and deep in the batter's box. He is a switch hitter.
6'3", 230-pound switch hitter. And he chops one to first. Galarraga will need help and gets it from Swift. So Whitten grounds out in his first Phillies at bat, 1 out here in the 2nd. He put on quite a show, one that'll go down in the record books forever, did Mark Whitten 2 Septembers ago against the Cincinnati Reds. Game 2 of a doubleheader, hit 4 home runs in 1 ball game. And the last one was a monumental shot to center field.
Yeah, I remember watching those, and none of them were cheap. And that last one, as you say, was really a long one.
1 out for Mickey Morandini. Takes a breaking ball inside. It's 1-0.
Happy birthday tonight, number 91, to Harry Sloman of Philadelphia, and to Augustus Monroe of Swarthmore, who is 86.
Called strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Rockies start the night with a 5-game lead over the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League Western Division. Off the glove of Swift, Weiss has to change direction. Off balance throw. Nice play by the Colorado shortstop Walt Weiss.
A lot of people talk about Walt Weiss and say he might be their most valuable player with all these long ball hitters that they have, and he's done a great job in helping solidify their infield. As Todd said, off the glove of Swift, and look, he has to throw on the run. Bang, bang play. Steve Ripley says he's out, and that's it.
So 2 outs, the base is cleared. Here's former Rocky Charlie Hayes.
Charlie in a real funk right now. As seen his average pummel, he was over 300 not that long ago, and it all started at Denver.
One hop. Jason Bates sucks it up and makes the throw. Some nice defense turned in behind Bill Swift as he has a 1-2-3 second.
Kids 14 and under, give yourself a pat on the back when the Phillies play the Expos Sunday, August 13th at 1:35. This cool carryall has lots of special zippered compartments. It's vibrant red with a Phillies logo. Call 463-1000.
Dad?
Yeah?
There's something I want to tell you.
What is it, son?
Well, Dad, you're my dad. And I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light, Johnny.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Ray, forget it, Johnny.
Oh, man. Look what you did. What I did? Just who do you think you are, man? Who do you think I am?
Easy, fellas. What would he do?
Oh, the Yellow Pages?
Just any Yellow Pages?
The genuine Yellow Pages.
9 out of 10 use it.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you very much.
The genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages.
Emma, seems like we've known each other forever.
Yeah, I know. 2 weeks.
Will you marry me? 'Cause Emma, I love you, man.
Oh, Johnny, you're not getting my Bud Light.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
Johnny?
make it a Bud Light.
Jane?
It's Joan.
Joan, whatever. I feel like I've known you forever.
Fans enjoying this summer evening, watching the Phils and Rockies play in their second game. Only the 2 games that they will see the Rockies play here at the Vet this year. 6 games in all. The Phils losing 3 out of 4 in Denver, and then losing last night's ball game 11-3. So they've lost 4 out of 5 thus far, trying to win game number 6. The series finale is Andres Galarraga, who doubled home a run his first time up on a ball that really should have been caught by Mark Whitten. Popped up behind the plate. Darren Dalton will find it, throw the mask away, and squeeze one away.
The Rockies are a team that are so much better at home than they are on the road, and they're trying to get that straightened out so that they can compete a little bit better. As you look at Don Baylor there in the dugout.
Can they win this division?
Sure they can. Absolutely. I think they can. I mean, a lot of people say, you know, they're going to be exposed sooner or later, but with that home field advantage, the only team I think can beat them is the Dodgers, and the Dodgers just go into these horrendous hitting slumps.
Vinny Castilla, the batter, he has been the big surprise this year in this offense.
See what happens, you know, you get into August and then into September and see how they react to the pressure, because a lot of them have never been through it. But they do have that Coors Field. They can win there a lot of nights just because of that field and the way that their lineup is set up. Their bullpen is so much better. That, to me, is the thing that's improved so much.
0-2, the count to the National League starting third baseman in the All-Star game, who's now 2 for 2 as he lines one inside the bag at first. Mark Whitten, you don't want to test that arm, and he's going to throw behind the runner, and Darren Dalton backs up the play nicely.
He'll be exciting out there when he plays. There's no doubt about it, because he has that gun. Greg Jeffries not thinking that he's going to throw behind him, so he was way out. Now here's an 0-2 pitch, and this is the way it's going. He even surprised Castilla when he hit that. It's kind of going that way early in the game tonight. Now here's Whitten, and Castilla's not going to run on him. Now he tries to throw behind him and airmails it, but Dalton backs it up. No harm, no foul, as they say in Tony Irving's sport.
Witten needs a little bit longer distance to air out that arm. He can't make those 50-yard throws.
Yeah, he can fire. Used to think when he was in this league, this was before Mondesi, that it was a toss-up between him and Walker, you know, who could throw the best. Now Walker's had a little shoulder problem. Witten might be right now behind Mondesi now that he's back in this league.
The fans were booing, but a lot of right fielders turned that into a double.
Yeah, I mean, that no reason to boo, but hey, they got to welcome him to town.
He did get traded for the fans' favorite Boo Bird, who's not in the lineup tonight, by the way, for the Red Sox. Dave Hollins is in Boston, but not in the Red Sox lineup tonight. Those fans will miss Hollins, who is playing against his old buddy John Kruk tonight. Ball and 2 strikes to Joe Girardi. Grounded to a fielder's choice, his first time up. Swing and a miss. Galarraga goes down swinging. Third strikeout on the night for Deshays. Excuse me, Girardi goes down swinging.
You know, he's thrown enough curveballs and changeups, Todd, that he threw a fastball by Girardi. I think it probably surprised him. You see Girardi's reaction. Deshays is throwing a lot of off-speed stuff, and this Rockies team loves to hit the fastball.
Jason Bates grounded out his first time up. Up high, 1-0. Even though the Rockies are a right-handed dominant team for the most part, with Bichette, Galarraga, and Castilla, 3 of their 4 main power sources, they have had their share of problems against lefties this year. Called strike, 1-1. Normally Bates will not play against the lefty. They'll play Eric Young at second and Ellis Burks in the outfield.
Yeah, and Don Beller picking tonight to rest Walker also against the left-hander Deshays, but with Ellis Burks out with an injury, that's why Young is playing tonight and Bates is playing.
And Kingery.
And Kingery, right.
Inside and low, it's 2-1.
Hasn't hurt him so far.
Nope. Kingery with a couple RBIs.
Bates has made one tremendous defensive play already.
There's Ellis Burks. Actually injured himself in batting practice last night. Tried to play and left the game after 2 at-bats. Runner on the move. Ball sent into right field. Mark Witten will get over there and make the catch for the final out here in the 3rd. Witten, one of the 2 new Phillies making their debut tonight here at Veterans Stadium. Jim Deshays the other. Deshays, as mentioned earlier, has bounced around with a number of teams, and this year found himself in a Phillies uniform, and explains just how he felt when he found out he was a Philly.
I'm the product of having a terrible year and not being a hard thrower. When you're 35 years old, you don't throw very hard anymore, and you come off a terrible year, there's going to be a lot of people that have a lot of doubts about you. And then given the strike and the fact that spring training was going to be so short, I felt it was in my best interest to sign a minor league deal just to get pitching. You know, if I had held out and waited till there was the agreement to come back on the field, then maybe I would have got a big league invite, and maybe I would have made a team, but I don't know that, and there was too much at risk for me to approach it that way. So I signed the minor league deal and went to work that way. I was talking to Toronto and Philadelphia during spring training. I knew Padres was over here, and you know, as a left-hander and a changeup guy, I thought there was a fit there that getting a chance to work with Pods might help. And I wanted to come back to the National League, so all those factors kind of pushed me towards the Phillies.
35 years of age, Jim Deshays making his Phil's debut tonight. Thus far, he's allowed 3 runs on 7 hits in the first 3 innings. He has bounced between the National League and the American League, but primarily his time has been spent in the National League with those years in Houston. It's been a bit of a struggle for him early. Really should have been out of that first inning without a run, but did allow 2 runs on that 2-out single by Kingery in the second. We head to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Phil's looking to score against Bill Swift, trailing 3-0. Phil's returned in August to play the Mets for 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then the Expos for 4, an extended weekend series, Friday through Monday. Monday, a 1:05 start. Our final business person special of the year. For ticket information, call 463-1000. Kevin Stocker to lead things off. Bottom half of the third inning, takes a pitch down low, 1-0. Phils still have 2 nights remaining on this homestand, including the doubleheader tomorrow. If you can't make it out to the yard, you can catch all the action of both games right here on Prism. Jason Bates quickly to his right. Stocker beats it out for an infield hit. Well, the way things were going, you almost half expected Bates to make another miraculous play, but Stocker beats it out. Swift is a fine athlete and makes a leaping attempt but can't quite get there, and Bates did everything he could, but it was in the right spot for Stocker to beat it out. Second hit on the night for the Phillies. Here's Jim DeShays, who will be up there to move the runner along, you would expect, except for he takes a big rip. No contact. DeShays over his career, not much of a hitter, just .089 career. All 33 of his hits for singles. Jim Fregosi gave him a shot on the first pitch with the Phils trailing by 3. Now he's around to bunt. Bunts it foul, and it's 0-2. DeShays did not get a chance to hit much down to Scranton Wilkes-Barre. When your only chance to bat is when you face other National League affiliates in the International League. Castilla at 0-2, expecting bunt his way in at third, and DeShays shows it and bunts it foul. So now goes a strikeout. First strikeout for Bill Swift. Stocker on first with 1 out. Here's Len Dykstra. Dykstra flied out to right his first time up. Outside for a ball, 1-0. Foul. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Bill Swift, since coming over from the American League, has an excellent record in this senior circuit. 45-21 in his National League career. In 94 games, 86 of those starts.
A lot of people question his decision on whether to go to Colorado because of because of the altitude there and the home run balls, but this guy, I'm sure he feels that he's a good enough pitcher with his sinker that he can exist in that place, and he's done okay so far. He's been hot lately, but it's a ballpark that is just unforgiving if you get the ball up in the strike zone.
Two balls and a strike to Dykstra. That is certainly going to be a situation the Rockies will deal with throughout their history. You're going to get the quality pitchers that are going to want to pitch in that park.
That's why, they have Ricard pitch a good game here last night. They feel in a way they're going to have to develop some of their own because they won't get the quality free agent that often, pitcher free agent.
Called strike. It's 2-2.
Swift will do that. He'll get a hitter diving out for that good sinker that he throws away and then throw a slider in. I mean, he's basically going to throw 2 pitches. He'll throw a changeup too, Todd, once in a while, but for the most part, it's sinker slider.
Phils last night out of the game quickly, trailing 8-0 at the end of 3.5, trying to stay in this one, trailing 3-0. We're in the third. There's a line drive. Base hit to right field. Stocker makes the turn and gets to third easily. So Lenny Dykstra with a single to right. Phils have runners on the corners with 1 away.
Got the sinker up this time, it looked like, to Dykstra. Yeah, you see the sinker ball up, and you know, that is when Swift will get hurt, as most pitchers will, but especially a guy who relies on sinking the ball down and away from left-handed batters.
Greg Jeffries, the batter, with the middle infield back, expecting or hoping for two. Jeffries was robbed of a base hit his first time up on a nice play by Jason Bates.
Now, if he hits that ball now, it's a base hit because Jason Bates has to cheat on the double play. He's much closer to second base now than he was last time up. There you see the position where he is now. Last time he was playing a little more to pull and was able to get to that ball.
2-0. Kevin Stocker on third, Lenny Dykstra on first. One out. We're in the third. Phil's trail at 3-0, but threatening with one away. Hard hit ground ball foul. It's 2 balls and a strike. What he's done since moving over to first base, he has that average up to 285. Jeffries has 2 hits and 8 career at bats against Bill Swift. One of those 2 a home run. There's the same play. Base hit this time into right field. Jeffries with an RBI single on almost the identical ball that he hit back in the first inning.
Right, that's where we pointed it out, Todd, that you know, when you get a team that has to play double play depth, you open up a lot of things for your hitters, especially against a ground ball pitcher like this. Second baseman Bates is cheating this time for the double play, so he can't cheat over towards the hole to protect the hole. And as you said, basically the same ball that Jeffries hit the first time up. Now it's a hit.
So the Phils get one back. They now trail at 3-1. Here's Andy Van Slyke. Phils with 3 hits in the inning. Van Slyke singled to left his first time up. A lot of balls hitting the ground.
Oh yeah, well that's what you're going to get from Bill Swift. Now, you know, sometimes his ground balls are caught, sometimes they go through. You know, he can't like to pitch on AstroTurf. You know, you would think he would want to pitch on grass and dirt surface. He was very effective at Candlestick because that grass was so high. And he had a great defensive infield there with the Giants, with Williams and Thompson and Clayton. Will Clark was there.
Last year, Todd Benziger set a National League record with 20 putouts in a 9-inning game when Swift was pitching.
Oh yeah, well the outfielders, you know, when he's pitching well, a lot of nights have the nights off unless they got to field grounders to get through. Because you don't hit a lot of balls in the air off him when he pitches effectively.
Tonight, just 1 fly ball off the bat of Len Dykstra. First batter Swift faced. Oh, 2 pitch misses outside. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And he's done a nice job since coming over to the Phils. Ooh, rips the ball into the photographer's booth there, left side of the visitors' dugout.
I think Van Slyke thought he had a strike there at the last second, and he better try and destroy it. And that's what he did.
Way inside, 2-2. Swift, during his last 4 starts, has had good control. 3 starts ago, he struck out 10 Los Angeles Dodgers and walked none in a 10-1 Rockies win. Right side, Bates bobbles and may have cost him a double play. It's going to be a close play for 2, but once Bates bobbled, Jeffries was easily to second, and now the Phils have second and third with one out.
Right, and that's the first mistake we've seen Jason Bates make so far defensively. He's trying to do too much here. See, he had the back foot planted because he's going to fire to second. He knew it was just what you said, Todd, that he was really going to have to get rid of it in a hurry to get the double play, and he just bobbled the ball.
So now Darren Dalton has had good success in his career against Bill Swift. Will bat with runners on second and third and 2 away.
And that's what that mound conference is about. Girardi on his way back. They have a base open and Witten on deck. And a 2-run lead right now, so they might decide they're going to try and get him to go fishing for something.
Dalton grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. Down the right field line, that'll be a fair ball towards the corner. Phils are going to tie the game at 3. Dalton's going to head for third, and Bichette finally digs the ball out. Darren Dalton with a stand-up 2 RBI triple. It's a 3-3 ball game.
Well, it looked like Bill Swift came hard inside on that first pitch off the plate, and Dalton swinging and got jammed and just looped it down the line just fair. We didn't see what happened with the ball when it got into the corner. He thought it was just going to be a double. See, he had to pull his hands in because he got jammed. And now here goes Bichette.
And there goes Bichette.
All right. Well, he ran. It looked like he might have run into the padding going after it. And, you know, that delayed him going to get the ball out of the corner. So he gets a triple out of it.
Bichette has played some right this year. Certainly not much. He's mostly a left fielder.
Right. He played right field for them their first 2 years. And he is, you know, Dante Bichette's a hitter.
Here's Mark Witten, who grounded out in his first Phillies at bat. 1-0 the count. Been blocked by Girardi, keeping Dalton at third. Darren with his second triple of the year. One more than he had all of last year.
There's Mark Witten, a strong man. Look how that he kind of holds that bat the way Moises Alou does.
He uncoils similarly to Fred McGriff, maybe with not quite the same flair with the whip around on top of the head, but he does uncoil left-handed. He whipped the bat around. Kind of looks like McGriff when he does that a little bit. 2-2.
Well, he gets out in front of this ball. See, everything's moving forward, and then he tops it. And there's what Todd's talking about, the McGriff follow-through. There's only one Fred McGriff in this league.
Does not chase that change up. His count goes full. Phils and Rockies tied at 3. Bottom of the third, and Witten takes ball 4.
Threw him a backdoor breaking ball and did not get the pitch. It was close, but it must have been just a little bit outside. Larry Bernard, the pitching coach, on the way to the mound. The bullpen got the night off for the Rockies last night. It was funny when the game ended.
Yeah, did you see that?
Oh, that was great. Ricard pitched a complete game, first of the year, and the bullpen sprinted across the field to get to the pitcher to hug him.
I mean, hugged him like it was a no-hitter.
Said, thanks a lot. Boy, we needed a night off. We haven't had one all year. They have 2 guys that are right up there leading the league in appearances.
Rockies bullpen had not had a night off since July 7th of last year. There's Morandini with a chance to give the Phils the lead for the first time. First and third, 2 out. That's a fair ball. Dalton scores. Witten heading to third. Ball is bobbled. Morandini to second, and Witten will hold on. But the Phils take a 4-3 lead on the RBI by Mickey Morandini.
Well, the Rockies got a couple of little hippity-hop hits early in the game, and now the Phillies get one. See, he laughs about it. You know, sometimes you got to be lucky, and that was a little ground ball off the end of the bat down the line for the double by Morandini. Off Swift, as I mentioned, he's going to throw his ground balls for the most part, and it just depends whether or not you get some through.
Mickey already has his career high in home runs with 5. Now he ties his career high in RBIs. 33 of them on the year, and that pitch is a called strike according to Jim Quick. 0-1.
Charlie Hayes hit a couple balls last night, would have been out of Denver, that's for sure. And as I mentioned, he's in that funk right now, and all he needs is maybe one base hit to get him going. He's had a fine year.
On the ground, Bates a couple of steps to his right, and that'll do it. But 4 runs cross the plate for the Phils as the Phils take the lead for the first time. They do so with 5 hits and 2 men left. Gary Maddox joins Wheels next.
Jay Bell and Orlando Merced lead Jim Leland's Pittsburgh Pirates into town for the 4th Mellon PSFS Business Person Special of the year, Thursday, July 27th at 1:05. Midday, midweek, Major League Baseball. Call 463-1000.
I saw this beautiful Robert Stock silk sport coat for $139. Then I found this Amherst & Brock blazer for the same price, and they said, take it, it's yours. And I'm like, no way. It's buy one, get one free, they said. And it's not just sport coats. It's suits and sportswear, slack.
Joe, our nationwide insurance agent, said it reminded him of his first house. It needed a little work.
Patty and her husband got their friends together.
We got the place looking great.
Yeah, I was able to help a little. I mean, since they now have a homeowner's policy with Nationwide, I could offer them a home car discount.
It was a really nice little housewarming gift. I'm glad Joe saved us money because we still have a few little things that need to be fixed up, like a...
Nationwide is on your side.
I bought this Dynamite Cricketer suit at Today's Man, specially priced at $249, and they said I could get another suit, same price or less, free. Can you believe this? It's called Buy One, Get One Free, and it's not just suits. It's sport coats, sportswear, shirts.
And back here at Veterans Stadium, Gary Maddox joins us here in the 4th inning. Phillies with that trade right before the game last night, and if nothing else, Mark Whiten's fun to watch.
I wouldn't call that fun, what happened in the first inning, but you see he has a lot of ability, Chris. He has a great arm. He missed the ball and then almost threw the guy out, which was really funny. But he definitely has an approach up the plate. You can see he's nice and relaxed. He's going to hit some long balls when he connects. But, you know, the situation with Dave Hollins, I guess, really left the Phillies no other alternative but to try and move him. You know, that can work out good for you. I'm going to give an example of that. I asked to be traded from San Francisco, and I ended up here in Philadelphia. Worked out great for me, and hopefully it'll work out good for Witten and Hollins.
I don't remember back to when you were, I remember the deal, obviously, but why did you ask to be traded out of San Francisco?
Well, I was in a position where they were going to start to platoon me with Von Joshua that they had gotten in the offseason. And, you know, if you're a young player and your career is in front of you and you don't feel that you need to be platooned or sitting on the bench, you know, it's going to be in your best interest to try and make something happen. I think that's what Dave felt, you know, and that's what I felt when I was playing. But the thing is, Chris, if you really are unhappy, you're going to be a negative influence in the clubhouse. The players are not going to know how to approach you because they know you're angry. That's not to say they don't identify or agree with what you're going through, but you know, hey, we're all in this to try and win, and they don't like to see people standoffish, and it does have a negative effect. So the Phillies' hands were tied in that respect.
Walt Weiss, the batter in the count 1-2. Jim DeShays all of a sudden has a 4-3 lead as the Phillies had a 4 spot on the board. Batting around. Yeah, there aren't many guys around that you might have faced, huh? Did you face this guy?
I don't know. I don't know who I faced, period.
Schmidt hit his last home run off it.
Oh, well, I was gone, what, probably a couple years before Schmidt. So.
Right. I thought maybe you might have faced Jim DeShays.
See, 86 was his first year. 86 was my last. Well, I retired in April of 86.
Might not have. Down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, but it's easy to see that, you know, big guy hides the ball well, but good movement on his fastball. And you can tell when he strikes out Bichette a couple times, it's because that ball keeps running away from him. He doesn't quite get there.
Well, he used to, when he first came up, throw the high fastball and get away with it because he had a lot more velocity. And then he had shoulder problems, and he's never been a power pitcher since. He's always been a finesse kind of guy with a good changeup, breaking ball, try to pitch in and out.
You see, he still humps up a little bit. He'll throw that changeup, and then he thinks you're looking for it. He'll throw that hard, straight fastball.
Right, and that's the one, I think he threw one by Girardi that looked like that after he'd set him up with all-speed stuff. Walt Weiss, who is a tough at-bat, is having another one here. Up among the league leaders in walks with 54 and doing a great job out of the 8-hole for the Rockies, batting at .246, but that really doesn't say how valuable he is to them. There he goes again, another deep count, 3-2.
I mean, he showed his value in the field on the play he made in the first inning.
He had some great years with Oakland. 3 balls, 2 strikes, fouled away. He makes the pitchers work.
See, well, you know, good teams, you know, good hitting teams especially, and teams with good pitching, you know, that shortstop position is very important to them, and they'll sacrifice offense a lot of times just to go ahead and get that. But teams that are having trouble scoring runs, you know, they'll try and go for a little bit more offense in that position.
Made a chase ball 4 that time, fouls it off right side back into the crowd. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Walt Weiss. I've seen quite a few pitches in this at bat.
Well, you say he may have chased ball 4. That, you know, that's due to Deshays. His ball, you know, it looks like it's coming down the outside part of the plate, and then by the time it gets there, it's moved so much, but you've already committed as a hitter.
12th pitch on the way to Walt Weiss, and he struck him out, and Weiss chased a bad ball that time, 1 away.
It's a fastball. It's up in the strike zone. Darren Dalton wants it a little bit inside, but he gets it up and puts a little gas on that. Right by Weiss.
And Weiss upset, as you see. He knows he chased a bad pitch, and he's a guy who does walk a lot. Here's Bill Swift, who doubled and scored in the 2nd inning. He was up there to bunt, fouled off a bunt. They gave him the hit, and he doubled down the left field line. Swift coming into the game, a .205 lifetime hitter. That was his first double of the year. Foul away. Bill Swift is 35 years of age now. Or check that. He is 34. On October 27th, he is one of 15 children.
Wow.
From Portland, Maine. Great player for the University of Maine for 4 years. The Maine Black Bears, who had they have made some College World Series appearances, which is amazing when you consider how much spring practice can they get up there. Up high, and the count is 3-1 to the pitcher Bill Swift, with Eric Young waiting on deck. Jim Deshays, 6'5", 220-pounder. He is 35 years of age. Fouled away. Deshays originally selected by the Yankees back in June of 1982 in the 21st round.
I'll tell you one thing about Deshays that makes him unusual as a pitcher is that, you know, once he lifts that front leg, I mean, he really gets compact. Where you see those big guys with the big leg kick and all that motion. See, right there, he gets compact and then kind of jumps out at the hitter. All that helps when it comes to deception.
T-shirt on backwards.
Hey, you know, I think that's probably a good luck piece or something.
It's a little frayed. Well, Frank Koppenbarger would happily give him new equipment if he wanted it, but some guys just like to wear that stuff for superstition purpose.
Yes, sir.
Deshays is throwing a lot of pitches in this inning. There's the front, and there's the back.
Some would say he's just a typical left-hander.
Some would. Hot, steamy night here, and Deshays having to work hard in the 4th inning.
Chris, how about giving us a little insight tonight? A little inside Philly school.
For what?
Now, I heard somewhere that Deshays is getting an opportunity because the Phillies had promised him a shot to come up if another team expressed interest.
I heard that too.
You don't know?
Well, I think that's probably what happened, but it was also at a time when the Phillies needed another starter, so it could have been a combination of things.
Oh, okay.
Pop up, first base side. Jeffries over near the dugout in the stands. It'll go out of play.
See, that stuff you somehow seem to always know, so I wanted you to enlighten us here. What the real deal is, you know?
Well, that's probably about it.
Okay.
I think it was right about the time where that was coming up, and there was some interest, and guys were starting to drop like flies again. Grounded to short. Stocker goes out Swift. 2 outs here in the inning, but Deshays has paid a price that may affect him later on. He must have thrown about 20 pitches to those 2 batters, the 8 and 9 hole hitters. How about 23 officially? Thank you, Larry Rosen. And he's already at 74, and the Phillies are strapped for pitching. They used Olivares 4 last night. They used Borland 4 on Sunday.
That's one thing about being a pitcher that's not overpowering or just throws hard on occasion, is that you don't expend a lot of energy. You know, it's hot out there tonight.
Great bunt by Young. They might as well just pick that one up and give it back to the pitchers. What Charlie's going to do. You can't bunt him much better than that. Base hit Eric Young. Well, he deadened that like a 60-degree wedge.
You'll see this. I mean, just drops the bat. I mean, with the third baseman being back just a tad, all he had to do was make sure he got it down.
He had some serious spin on that one when it hit.
He was jammed his last at bat. Had a runner on third base with less than 2 outs and popped up to second base. This time he just goes ahead and takes that bunt.
Right, in that run right now, the Phillies ahead by 1. Kingery, the batter, he had a base hit off the end of the bat into center field, scored 2, gave the Rockies a 3-run lead at the time. That in the second, Phillies have come back with a 4 spot in the third, and it's 4-3. Kingery's done a great job for the Rockies this year. Batting a solid .293. Now it's 25 runs batted in. 1 ball, no strikes. And Deshays moves over to first. Young has stolen a base. He stole third in the first inning, his 13th of the year. Shays twice in his career has had 9 pickoffs in a season. That ball's hit to right center field. Whitten will have to take it on one big hop. And runners at the corners now and 2 outs as Kingery continues to swing the bat well. That ball almost hopped over Mark Whitten's head.
Well, he's going to have to get used to playing at the vet, especially during the summer where that ball really bounces high. You know, but this ball, if this gets over his head, it's going to go to the wall, and you know, and a run scores easily. Even if Van Slyke is able to cut it off with Young running, he probably would have scored.
Right. With 2 outs, he was running all the way, was Young. And now Jim Quick heads out to the mound to break up that conference as Dante Bichette bats with runners at the corners. Bichette has struck out twice tonight. Been working him away quite a bit with off-speed stuff. Dante Bichette playing in right field tonight. Bichette originally with the Milwaukee Brewers, coming over in the expansion draft, and has provided the Rockies with some great power numbers. I mean, they can just go out and get fly ball hitters. That's what they're going to specialize in for a long time.
Well, you know, the thing is, these guys, you know, you hit home runs. I don't care where you hit.
Uh-oh. Whoa, that's a long one. Let's see how far this one's going to go. Way out of here, and the first one he's hit on the road all year.
Like I was going to say, Chris, you know, when it comes to home runs, if you're hitting, I don't care which ballpark you're hitting them in, you start to develop confidence as a hitter if you're going to get some base hits and some home runs. And these guys really, I mean, they swing the bat good.
Yeah, and he had made him look bad his first 2 times up. They went out and talked about it, and whatever he threw him on the first pitch, it looked like Bichette was sitting on it, and he killed it.
Well, I think if you talk to Deshays, he's going to say he got that in a bad location, because he's already shown how he can pitch Bichette.
6-4 now the Rockies on the 3-run bomb by Bichette. His first home run on the road this year after he had hit 17 in Denver, and you figured he might pick this place because he likes to hit here.
Look where Darren Dalton is sitting, outside, which is where they've had all the success, and that ball just came right back over the heart of the plate.
Line to center, and Van Slyke's right there, puts it away. But the Rockies, with 2 outs in the inning, go single homer. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and nobody left. 6-4 Rockies.
Schmitty, nobody did it better. Join in a tribute to this Hall of Famer before the Expos game Saturday, August 12th at 8:05, and you'll receive a limited edition print compliments of MAB paints. The Expo series starts Friday, August 11th at 7:35, continues Sunday, August 13th at 1:35, when fans 14 and under get the best backpack to ever strap on a back free, and wraps up Monday the 14th with a 105 Mellon PSFS Business Person Special. Call 463-1000.
Some people hate to stop for gasoline. We do it for a living. Just going from one Sunoco station to another. Checking to make sure a gallon is truly a gallon. That the octane you pay for is the octane you get. That the gasoline is as good coming out of the pump as it was coming out of the refinery. So next time you're moaning because you have to pull over for gasoline, think of us. We have to stop 1,183 times this year.
Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme meets Ford Taurus head-to-head in the Oldsmobile Challenge. And now with the special 4.9% GMAC Smart Lease rate, you can lease Cutlass for only $249 a month. Cutlass has more standard power, more leg and headroom, more resale value. But Cutlass is $2,150 less than Taurus. And now you can lease a new Cutlass for only $249 a month with no security deposit. Move up to Oldsmobile. Take the Oldsmobile Challenge now at your local Oldsmobile retailer.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up, never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By your Quality Plus Ford dealers, home of 5 of the top 10 selling cars and trucks. By Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile, introducing Mobile Reach, the only cellular network available in small, medium, and humongous. And by Nationwide, your nationwide insurance dealers. Your nationwide representative in Westchester is David Gosselin. So the Phillies go ahead with a 4 spot, and the Rockies bomb one, a 3-run homer, their specialty, and go right back out 6-4.
Yeah, I think we're used to seeing that 3-run specialty on, in Colorado, but they're taking their act on the road now.
Well, he's always hit well in this park. I talked about it earlier. Wouldn't be surprised if he hit one here before he leaves, and he's only had one game, and he did. The ball almost went in the upper deck. It went deep into the stands in left center.
Chris, but you pointed out before he came up how much success they had pitching him away off speed stuff. That ball was supposed to be a pitch outside that Darren Dalton was asking for, and you could see him on the replay reach back over the plate to where the curveball was going.
Yeah.
And Bichette, you could hear him say, "Don't worry, Darren, I'll handle this one."
You'll never see this one. Next person who catches this is going to be about 400 feet away. Struck him out. 1 out. And now Gallagher is going to come out and bat for Deshays. Deshays will go 4 innings. And here's Dave Gallagher. Had a couple hits in the ball game last night, coming in as a pinch hitter when Tony Longmire was hit on the thumb and had to leave the ball game. You see the overall numbers on Gallagher. Has done a really good job this year. And Toby Borland, who pitched 3 innings in one game, that was Friday night, 4 innings on Sunday, will be the new pitcher.
Yeah, Borland, I guess if anybody on the team would be a rubber band man, it would be him with that sidearm delivery, which is probably the least taxing, on your arm.
Strike called. Gallagher didn't like it. Takes a look at Jim Quick. It's 0-2. Fouls that one off the end of the bat into the Phillies dugout. Lots of runs, lots of hits in this one. 10 runs, 16 hits already. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Ground ball in the hole. That's going to be a base hit off the glove of Weiss. Gallagher makes a big turn, and he's going to head for second and get a double. That's one of those ones that the infielder's better off if he just lets it go.
Well, definitely. You're not going to throw the guy out anyway. So you should just go ahead and let it go. But I don't think you have that kind of quit in you. It's pretty much instinctive as a defensive player. You go after everything. Here you're going to see a breaking ball. Watch him reach down and get it. A ball maybe he should hit away, but because it's off speed and low, he can reach down and get that. Weiss diving in the hole just slowed it down enough so that no one could get it.
Gallagher hustled too. He saw the ball go off the glove of Weiss and hustled it into his 12th double of the year. And here's Dykstra, 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Breaking ball misses from Swift. Swift with fastball, a sinker, slider, and occasional changeup. Phillies now have 7 hits off Bill Swift. 6 runs on 10 hits for the Rockies off Jim Deshays, the starter. Dykstra fouls it off his leg at home plate. 1-1. On deck is Greg Jeffries. There's Jeffries. Dykstra nubs it off the end of the bat. Look at Swift, how quick he was after it, but he'll have no play. So the Phillies catch a lucky hit there right off the bat by Lenny Dykstra off the end of the bat, and they have runners at the corners. And this is not going to be a pitcher's night, Gary, it would appear.
Well, Swift on that play, I think he gave up too early on that play. Lenny was late getting out of the box. You'll see right there. Look at him now. He'll turn and watch it. Swift off, thinking about Dykstra. Didn't even bother to stop and throw. So I think he gave up a little bit too soon on that play.
I know I was all set to, say what a good athlete he is, and he's going to maybe throw him out. And as you say, he gave up on that. But Swift was on it in a hurry.
Well, maybe if Lenny Dykstra getting out of the box quickly, that might have been the case, but I mean, he took a full swing, stopped and looked at it.
Here's Jeffries. Has a single and 2 at bats. He's hit 2 balls almost in the same spot. That pitch called a strike, and he thought it was inside. First time Bates could cheat a little bit towards the hole. Second time he couldn't because he had to play for a double play. Now this time they have a 2-run lead, and Bates is playing him to pull.
Well, those 2 balls that he hit, in his first 2 at bats were really in that hole on the ground.
Oh, Galarraga can't make the play. Run scores. Dykstra to third. First and third, and they throw behind him, and Jeffries back in time. 6-5 ball game now in favor of the Rockies, and that's a hit for Greg Jeffries and an RBI.
Well, with the runner on first base, you catch Galarraga going one way. Jeffries pulling the ball down the first baseline, and he has to reach back and just can't get it. The ball was hit hard, Chris.
Big Cat doesn't miss many of them.
No,
you almost expected him to catch it and fire to second.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a good indication of how hard that ball was hit. I mean, and with Galarraga's knees, I think the one thing I've noticed, he almost has to stop before he can bend over or change direction.
And he has a groin problem right now, too, that's really bothering him.
Right. If he tries to extend himself, he'd be in real trouble. So his movement is really limited.
Jeffries has hit 3 balls right on the nose tonight and has 2 hits to show for it. Strike 1 to Van Slyke, who has a single and a ground out. 6-10-0 Rockies, 5-9-0 Phillies. We are only in the 4th inning. Hot, muggy night here at the Vet, and a lot of hitting so far. That's what you would expect. Van Slyke, a base hit up the middle. It's tied. Jeffries stops at second, and Andy Van Slyke has knocked in his 6th run of the year. And both starters have now given up 6 runs and 10 hits. The totals are identical.
It's the second hit of the night for Van Slyke. The first time he went to right. This time again, not doing too much. I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing from Van Slyke, Chris. Looks like he's trying to get a groove, just trying to hit the ball where it's pitched right now. Doing a good job of it.
Lance Painter, the left-hander, up pitching. Yeah, and that's the way you have to approach Swift, too, is try and hit the ball back through the middle. Darren Dalton takes a strike call on the outside corner. He's grounded into a fielder's choice. Triple, knocked in a couple, and scored. There's the left-hander Painter, who the Phillies saw in a few games last week at Denver.
It's one of the softest triples you're ever going to see.
Right, a little jammer.
But I don't think he's given anything back.
Fouled away, and Swift's ahead of him 0-2. Dalton has had good luck against Swift. In fact, he now has 8 RBIs off him.
Oh, a couple ding-dongs, and I think he's hitting over 400.
Right, came into the game batting at 400. He's now 10 for 22 off Swift. There's your situation with 1 out in the inning and Mark Whitten on deck. Dalton grounds one weakly towards first. Galarraga will not get there. It's a foul ball, so we'll start all over again. That's pretty identical.
I'll say.
In the 4th. Rockies with a 1-run inning, a 2-run inning, a 3-run inning. Phillies with 4 and 2 thus far, and a chance for more here. With 2 on, 1 out, the count remains 0-2 on Darren Dalton. Way outside, Swift trying to get him to maybe pull a ball into a double play. That's his specialty. Ooh. 2-2. Jim Quick, the home plate umpire tonight. Veteran. I know that's a guy you know.
Yeah. I mean, when you're the Phillies right now, you're really thinking, let's keep this line moving. No home runs, just keep the line moving.
Ripped to left, and Young is right there. Dalton hit it on the nose, but right at the left fielder, Eric Young, 2 down. Billy Swift is getting hit around a little bit.
Sure is. Good sign for Darren Dalton to start hitting that ball the other way. We had not seen a lot of that from him lately.
Here's Mark Whitten. He is grounded out and walked his last time up. Whitten is a switch hitter. Originally out of the Toronto Blue Jays organization.
Boy, and you think that's very unusual where he holds his hands. I mean, they're like right by his neck, his shoulder, but it's very comfortable. A lot of whip action from there, a lot of speed. You can see, I mean, he's so comfortable holding the bat right there.
You got to be quick when you do that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. 1 pitch inside, 1 pitch outside. Both of them strikes on the corners, and it's 0-2.
So your power comes from getting the hit of that bat from way up there where he has it through the strike zone. It's picked up so much speed that it's a lot of power.
Into left field, a base hit. Jeffries round third. Eric Young on it quickly. We're going to have a play at the plate, and he's out at home plate. Nice play by Girardi on the throw from Eric Young. And the Phillies are out here in the inning. They do tie it with a couple of runs. They do it on 5 hits. No errors and 2 left. We head to the 5th. It's a good one, 6-6.
Dad?
Yeah?
There's something I want to tell you.
What is it, son?
Well, Dad, you're my dad. And I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light, Johnny.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Ray, forget it, Johnny.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3, Power Plus, and Power Premium gasolines are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. For smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks. And you may feel like you've left your old car behind.
Oh, add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Guys in the majors have a lot of different things in their locker, like gloves, bats. Me, I got these change of address forms. You can pick them up at any post office. These bring back a lot of memories. Oakland, Montreal, 95 Ram McNally. Realtors, most major markets. I got this ball from Eckersley when I played in Oakland. Not really from Eckersley, but from a vendor. Baltimore.
Here's the play at the end of the inning, Chris. Look at Jeffries' footwork here. This is how you almost get hurt. Ooh. You know, he can't make up his mind which way to go or to slide or stand up. And when there's indecision, they say the first thing you decide, you just stay with that. But you'll see your weight gets to going one way, you try and cut back the other. That's how guys turn ankles.
So the Phillies missed a chance to go ahead, but they did tie it in the inning, and they have now out-hit the Rockies 11-10. Here's Toby Borland, who's been tremendous lately. Ooh, and he nails Castillo with a first pitch right in the back.
You know where it hurts? He can't even touch. He just was feeling for any place because he couldn't reach the spot where he got hit.
Well, that ball's a sinker going. Well, chased him is what it did. He has no chance to get out of the way of that pitch.
All right, watch where you see Borland slide arming right. Oh, he's got him right on his belt. See, the thing is, Borland's ball goes right into you, and that one started out right at him. Your first instinct is to move back, and then you're frozen.
Sure, it chases you then. Got no chance. There are the numbers on Borland, who's pitched well coming back off a rehab, but he hits the first batter he faces. Now there he goes, and it's a bunt. Bunted right to Jeffries. Steps on first. That'll be a sacrifice for Girardi. Girardi's talking to the first base coach. Did I miss something there?
I don't know.
you don't usually see a run and bunt or a bunt and run too often, and you get the feeling that one of them thought it was a hit and run and one thought it was a bunt, Gary.
Now you can usually tell if it's a hit and run, even a hit and run, you look back at that point to make sure that the ball is in play. You have to look in at home plate.
Yeah, that's what makes me think that Castilla thought it was a hit and run and Girardi thought it was a bunt.
Well, you know, it could have very easily have been a steal. You know, when you get hit like that, you get a big guy out there on the mound, you get hit, you want to get back at him and go ahead and steal on the first pitch.
Except Vinny Castilla is 0 for 5 in those. So he shouldn't think about running that much.
Yeah, I don't think you need to bunt and run. He's not that slow a runner where you need to bunt and run.
No, that just had all the earmarks of confusion. But they do have a runner to second, do the Rockies, with 1 out, and Bates batting from the left side where he's batting 100 points higher, 294 from 192 to begin the game.
This guy hit a seed last night inside the left field line.
Hit a 3-run homer, too. That's a fair ball. Good play by Jeffries. 2 outs. Over to third goes Castilla.
Now, Borland has had tremendous success against right-handers and probably just the opposite against left-handers. You see Jeffries, he takes it on a high hop. That AstroTurf bounce, picking up overspin, makes a good play there.
Walt Weiss, the batter. First base, of course, is open with the pitcher spot due up, but they've already showed Matt Noakes, a left-handed hitter, in the on-deck circle. See Weiss tonight 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. There's Noakes, the much-traveled Matt Noakes, formerly with the Giants. They brought him up last week when they sent Jorge Brito down when the Phillies were in Denver. No balls and 1 strike to Walt Weiss. 2 outs and a runner at third. 6-6 game. Can't check on a slider. 0-2. They've gotten Walt Weiss to chase a couple of bad balls, which is unusual for him. Two to Weiss. Looks like they want to throw another slider to him. And it's low with a breaking ball. 1-2. Weiss hits it hard and just foul first base side.
Well, they've gone to the well 4 times now with that slider, and that time Weiss was not fooled at all.
See if they try the sinker ball after so many sliders. Walt Weiss also a switch hitter. That looked like a fastball away. It was. And it's 2-2.
See, he becomes more of a control pitcher when he's facing left-handers. He's got to go for that corner. Right-handed batter up there, that ball runs into you, and it's a very difficult pitch for you to hit. But left-handers get a pretty good look at Borland.
That's a perfect pitch on the outside corner. Struck him out. The hit batter doesn't hurt him. Only person that hurt was Castilla. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. 6-6 as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
I need new clothes. I can't wear those. And call a florist. I need my rose.
We need more choices.
We need them fast
to calm the diva down. Or she won't last.
We need them fast.
9 out of 10 use it. The genuine velvet lining Yellow Pages.
Had they only sampled its precise handling, they might have named it Import Car of the Day. Had they just heard its quiet cabin, they might have named it Import Car of the Week. And had they merely felt its powerful engine, they might have named it Import Car of the Month. But they experienced all of the Nissan Maxima and named it Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year. Lease the Nissan Maxima GXE with 0 down and $299 a month for 36 months.
You work hard for your money. We work hard to help you keep more of it. You know, what you pay for a kilowatt hour of electricity from Pico Energy today is about the same as you paid 5 years ago. And you can rest assured that even though taxes or fuel costs may sometimes affect your bill, we're doing all we can to keep base rates right where they are until at least the year 2000. And that's a promise from all of us.
Travel provided by U.S. Air. U.S. Air now offers the only daily nonstop service between Philadelphia and Frankfurt, Germany.
Michael Jack Schmidt will be honored here at Veterans Stadium on Saturday night, August the 12th. The game will start at 8:05. The Expos will be here, joining a special celebration honoring Mike's entrance into the Hall of Fame. There'll be a special pregame ceremony, plus all fans will receive a beautiful limited edition print commemorating the event, just like we did with Whitey the other night.
Man, I've gotten pretty good at handing out those, you know, those paintings.
Going out there again?
I got the walk down. I got it all.
They got you. By the way, that's compliments of our good friends at MLB Paint. So we'll see you out here that night on August the 12th. Lance Painter, the new pitcher. There you see the numbers on Painter. Has done a good job. Rockies bullpen has done a good job this year. Well, you're more than welcome to come out, and you know, I'm sure that the promotion, if Chrissy's listening downstairs in the promotions department, they'd be glad to have you again.
Well, I really need Larry Shank to ask him. You know, that doesn't feel official unless I get a vice president to ask him.
He's probably listening somewhere in the building right now, so he'll work on that. Morandini pops one foul out of play left side. Lance Painter, 6'1", 195-pounder. He is, well, he turned 28 on July the 21st. Born in Bedford, England. Grew up in Lakewood, Colorado. Or his residence is in Lakewood, Colorado.
That was a nasty pitch right there.
This guy's got pretty good stuff, and he's tough on left-handed batters.
Look at his fingers all bent up. Look at this deep shoot.
Selected by the Padres, 25th round in June of '90, and then selected in the expansion draft by the Rockies.
Head back in the glove.
Struck him out on a fastball away. Mickey Morandini gone. One out here in the 5th inning. Mickey now 1 for 3, and here's Charlie Hayes 0 for 2 with 2 ground balls to second.
I mean, that's a good indication right there how tough he is on left-handers. You know, on any left-hander, you watch, it's his left-handed move that prevents Mickey from going out after the ball. When he sees that guy wind up, he freezes and then sees the ball away and can't reach it.
This is Painter's 4th game against the Phillies this year. They saw him 3 times last week. He pitched 3 1/3 innings, 1 hit, no runs.
Chris, what do they call a pitcher who hits the corners?
A painter.
Exactly.
There he is. Here's an MLB man right there. There he is. Outside to Charlie. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lance Painter has done a good job out of the bullpen. Phillies faced him 1 time as a starter and just ripped him. So his numbers are high against the Phillies career-wise. A 7.27 earned run average. 8 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, but those runs coming in that start at Old Mile High Stadium. Game turned over to the bullpens early as both starters struggled. Both Jim DeShays and Bill Swift charged with 6 runs. Here we are in the bottom of the 5th. Hayes the batter with Kevin Stocker on deck. Charlie Hayes just can't get it going right now as he swings and misses, strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning, and 2 strikeouts for Painter.
As you see his head come off. Look at his bat dips, swinging up.
That's a pull-off swing, and that's what happens, I guess, when you start going bad.
Yeah, you do. And see, when you pull off, your first move should be to throw the head of the bat through the strike zone. If you make your first move with your shoulders, then you drag the bat. No bat speed, and Charlie's just in one of those funks right now.
Yeah, and it started against the Rockies last week at Coors Field, when he might have been trying a little bit too hard against his ex-mates.
And you hear guys talk all the time about, hey, I'm not going to change my bat or my swing to face a knuckleball pitcher or a junk pitcher, because it's so easy to pick up a bad habit that's hard to shake. And I think Charlie, you know, may have changed something when he got excited about playing against those Rockies.
2 balls and 1 strike on Stocker, and there's Charlie Hayes trying to battle out of the slump he's in, or as the manager always calls it, a mix-up. fouled away. Jimmy will not use that word slump. It's always a mix-up.
Meaning the hitters mixed up?
Everything. If the team's slumping or the pitcher's slumping or the hitters are slumping, it's a mix-up. Stocker fouls one viciously down the left field line, out of play. Toby Borland on deck. He's in the game for a while. Toby gets some pretty good hacks when he gets up there, too. Those fans thankfully are okay after that ball. There's Borland. And now Stocker's headed back towards the dugout. Hard to believe he broke his bat as hard as he hit that thing.
Yeah, he may have noticed it was already broken, but I think I'd keep that one.
Counts 2-2 on Stocker. 2 outs, nobody on base. 6-6 ball game here in the 5th inning. Chris Willer and Gary Maddox. We'll have 2 for you tomorrow night, starting with Larry's pregame show at 4:30, and then we'll be on at 5 for a long night of baseball here with the Pittsburgh Pirates in town. Make-up Twinighter. Stocker back through the middle, fielded there by Painter. Lobs it to first, got him. That'll do it. Easy inning for Lance Painter. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left through 5. 6-6 game.
No matter what the sport, what the record, what the year, when a Philadelphia team plays a New York team, there's more on the line. The stakes are higher. And our Phillies battle the New York Mets Tuesday, August 8th, Wednesday, August 9th, and Thursday, August 10th, all at 7:35. Philadelphia, New York. Butler, Bonilla, Jones, Franco, Dalton, Morandini, Schilling, Slocum. Let's get it on. Call 463-1000.
Well, you can't tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Music loud and women walk. I've been kicked around since I was born. Whether you're a brother or whether you're a mother, you're staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive.
The Pennsylvania Lottery has a new game. It's $1,000 a week for life. One more reason to stay alive.
I don't care what you have to do to catch the ball. Imagine it's the thing you want most in this world. Just catch it!
It all comes down to this play. What? He stopped at the 5-yard line?
A&W root beer. When you want one, you want one.
Health tip. Don't overlook your eyelids in preventing skin cancer. Eyelid tumors are painless until they are in their advanced stages. Report any growth on your eyelid to your doctor. Remember to protect yourself with sunglasses or sunscreen.
Lance Painter is going to lead it off, so both these pitchers are going to pitch for a while, and they look like they're both going to hit, as Toby Borland was ready to go for the Phillies, and now Lance Painter will bat, and the Fanatic dropped something behind the mound on his way out, and there's Toby Borland on his way to pick it up. And Mark the Bat Boy will come out and grab it. Looks like a little garland on the tree. Doesn't feel like it tonight, does it?
Yeah, maybe it's all mental.
Painter as a hitter this year is 1 for 3, and it's a double.
Wasn't a bad hack he took there, tried to pull it, but he was right on that pitch.
Coming into the year, he's a 194 lifetime hitter with no homers and 3 runs batted in, 31 hits. Portland outside. It'll be Painter, then the top of the order, Eric Young, and then Mike Kingery. 6-6 in the 6th inning. Jumped at that one, hit it foul down the line. Long run for Witten near the stands, and it's out of play.
Well, he just missed that pitch, Chris. Borland got it up a little bit. He took a good hack at it, just got underneath it a little bit.
This guy, as the players would say, don't take no pitcher's hacks. He looks like he wants to be up there.
Here you see the ball's up a little bit. Just missed it, got under it a little bit. Look at that.
off the end of the bat this time down the line, but he wants to swing the bat. There's no doubt about it. It's 1 and 2 on him. He broke his bat on that one. Vance Painter coming on behind the starter Bill Swift, and Toby Borland taking over for Jim Deshaies. Got him on a breaking ball, 1 out, strikeout number 2 for Borland here in the 6th inning.
Well, here's a good pitch here. You know, you don't want to throw that ball down the middle every time, but that ball sinks, goes down. No chance there.
Eric Young 2 for 3 tonight. One of them a bunt single. He also has stolen a base. There's a high chopper foul third base side. We're going to have the scoreboard for you coming up, and we have some video on a violent collision today between Dave Clark and Jacob Brumfield in a game at Pittsburgh, and that is going to sideline Dave Clark for a long time as he suffered a serious injury. Those Pirates coming in here tomorrow night. Clark broke his collarbone, and it appeared that Brumfield got some nasty whiplash and a cut. And we'll have that scoreboard for you come up. A few finals from this afternoon. That ball's hit well to right field. Witten a long run, and he runs it down. Nice play by Witten, who was playing very shallow, as he should have been, and ran it down, Gary.
Well, the difference between that ball and the ball in the first inning, this ball was going towards the line, away from him. You know, pitch a little bit away. Young goes that way. Witten a good move in the right direction, which is towards the foul line, and then the ball drifts away from him. He catches up with it pretty nicely there.
Yeah, and with Young batting from the right side, you know, you have to figure you're going to cheat in a little bit. He's not going to hit it over your head, and he nailed that one. Here's Kingery. He's had a good game, 2 for 3 with a couple of runs batted in. He grounds one towards second. Should be an easy inning for Borland. It is. 3 up and 3 down go the Rockies. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Toby Borland's going to lead it off for the Phils as they come back to bat. Well, here we look at this collision in Pittsburgh today, and Atlanta's 3-1 win, Gary. This is Jeff Blauser, and that looks like it's Denny Nagel, the pitcher.
I mean, but Chris, what you want to look at is look at the guy coming from right field. The route he's taking, he's going around, whereas the center fielder's going straight back, and I mean, he catches him clean.
Blauser gets an inside the park home run on it. Oh, he caught the ball. Oh, all right. We hadn't seen this before. Brumfield caught it. What a play by Brumfield.
Oh, and you see him exposed right there. Oh, he gets crushed.
And both of them were immobilized there. They took them off that way, and Clark broke his collarbone. Brumfield got some whiplash and a cut, and the Pirates are due in town tomorrow night, and they sure won't have Dave Clark, and we'll see how much they're going to have Brumfield. Anyway, San Diego beating Cincinnati today 4-2 behind Brian Williams, and Steve Finley had 3 hits in that ball game. Florida beat San Francisco. Bobby Witt the winner. Terry Mulholland 2-9 on the year. Chicago beating Montreal by a run. Jamie Navarro won that one. Mark Grace and Jose Hernandez had home runs. See the Atlanta-Pittsburgh game. That was in 10 innings, and the Braves keep winning late in the ball game. Clontz the winner. Ryan Klesko another home run, and that is 12. Houston beating the Dodgers 2-0. That game's in the 4th inning. Nomo and Drabek, a home run by Jeff Bagwell. And 3-1 New York over St. Louis. Dave Malecki against Mike Morgan, home run by Edgardo Alfonso. Let's go to the American League. That game in the 6th inning. Jason Bray and Eric Hansen. Detroit 3, Oakland 1 in the 6th. Ron Darling and Lira pitching that one. Minnesota over Toronto. Texas over Baltimore in the 5th inning. A home run by Mickey Tettleton in that one. Yankees leading Kansas City 6-0. A home run by Randy Velarde. And later on, Milwaukee, Seattle, and Cleveland at California. Thank you very much, Lisa, for that wonderful job with the scoreboard. There is Larry Schenk, who will be over to talk to Gary Maddox later. Kevin Elster's going to bat for Borland, so he'll just go 2 innings.
Well, Chris, I keep seeing in my mind that play in Pittsburgh. Man, that was really a devastating collision.
Well, you know, having played that position for so long, you know how easily that can happen, too. Fly ball, shallow center field. Kingery comes in. Kevin Elster retired one away.
Well, yeah, I think as an outfield, you really have to establish if the center fielder's going after it, you see him, you peel off. I think players that play together for a while really understand that. Nobody calls for that ball because in their mind, neither one is sure that they can get to it. But, you know, if you see the center fielder going after him, he doesn't say anything, you have to peel off.
About him catching that ball, too, and holding on to it.
That was good concentration. You could see how he was exposed. Clark was almost running straight. He had started to circle and was almost running straight when he hit him.
And Clark broke his collarbone, as we said, and then you saw him smoke his head on that wall. Thank goodness they have padding on these walls now. That could have been a lot more serious. Lenny Dykstra takes it high, and it's 2-0 to Dykstra. 1 out and nobody on base. Lance Painter on in his second inning of work. So the Pirates come in here tomorrow night, certainly without Dave Clark, and we'll see about Brumfield. Dykstra hits it high in the air to center field, a play for Kingery. And there are 2 outs, and Painter has been perfect so far with the 6 batters he's faced. Phillies with the bullpen up now, as they'll have to bring in a new pitcher for Boylan. It'll be Ricky Bottalico. Phillies have to use a lot of pitching tonight on a night where they have to go into a doubleheader tomorrow in all that heat. Certainly not what they wanted. Jeffries had a good night from that left side. And there is Ricky Bottalico, will be the new pitcher for the Phillies in the 7th inning. Todd Callis will be back for play-by-play. Give Gary the rest of the night off as he prepares for tomorrow night.
A double dip.
A double dip. Gonna work you hard tomorrow night. The guy in the middle is Brian Ricard, pitched a complete game last night. Jeffries chops one towards second. Bates takes it off to the side, throws him in. Lance Painter perfect again. Gary, rest up. We'll see you tomorrow night. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Through 6. 6-6.
Over the past 3 years, Dodge has offered a choice of more new nameplates than anybody else. Now Dodge offers some other choices that make driving the best-selling Dodge Caravan easy. During the Dodge Buyer's Choice sale, get a new 95 Caravan and choose up to $1,860 in cash savings and values. Or choose an interest rate as low as 4.9%. Or a great Caravan lease rate. The Dodge Buyer's Choice sale. It makes visiting your friendly Dodge dealer a very smart choice indeed.
I bought Tom this great shirt, Colors by Alexander Julian, only $25. I wanted this other one too, and they said, go ahead, it's on us. Now I see the sign, buy one, get one free, and it's for nearly everything in the store. So I kept shopping. It was unreal.
Give me 10 more good reps, man. No, that's not it. I'll tell you what it is. Now give me one more. One more. Oh, man. One more. Keep it on.
With 33% more carbos than Gatorade, it's Powerade.
Give me 10 more good reps, man.
You talk to the feds tomorrow, I'll kill you.
Have we played enough games here?
What did Roman tell you in that car?
A man lies dead by his own hand, yet this boy remains silent.
I wasn't in that car. You and I both know he doesn't know anything.
We need to talk to this child.
We know more about your client's actions than you do.
Sometimes being strong means asking for help. I don't know nothing. You've got three to start telling me the truth. I'm scared.
And they're a very special young Phillies fan tonight, Donald Matthew Healy from Franklinville, New Jersey. Matthew is involved in the Special Olympics program, participating in volleyball and basketball, bringing home many medals from the state competitions. He was also elected prom king at his high school. So congratulations to that young man who's a very special athlete and what we understand from Frank DeVincentis, our director, a big Phillies fan. 6-6 ball game. A lot of offense early. bullpens have shut it down a little bit. Dante Bichette with a 3-run homer. Well, that gave the Rockies a lead at the time. Ricky Vitalico on for the Phillies, and for play-by-play, here's Todd.
Thank you very much, Wheels. Bichette struck out twice against the Shays, then hit his first home run on the road all season long, a 3-run blast back in the 4th. That gave Colorado a 6-4 lead at the time. Ricky Vitalico, the 3rd Phillies pitcher. He has had a fine year, 3-2, including a save, 45 innings, as you see what he has done on the year. Walks are a little bit high for Ricky. 24 walks in 45 innings, but his ERA 2.60. Did struggle against these Rockies out in Colorado when he faced them on that recent road trip. 1-1 to Bichette. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Vitalico has fared poorly against the Rockies. He has been in 3 ball games against them and is 0-1 with a 13.51 ERA, 5 earned runs in 3 1/3. So they have touched him up more than any other team in the National League. In the air, foul. The starters both ineffective tonight. Phil Swift for the Rockies, Jim DeShays for the Phillies. Swift lasting 4 innings, allowing 6 runs on 11 hits. DeShays lasting also 4 innings, allowing 6 runs on 10 hits. Swing and a miss and a good slider. Bichette goes down for the 3rd time tonight. Vitalico strikes out the first batter he faces, and those strikeouts are coming in bunches for Ricky. Dalton sets up outside, and that is almost impossible. Bichette commits and is gone. Vitalico now at 45 strikeouts on the year, so averaging 1 per inning. Andres Galarraga takes a good fastball on the hands for a called strike, 0-1. That's called getting in the kitchen. He sawed off Galarraga's bat. Hayes makes a nice play not to be distracted by the bat going to shortstop. I mean, that barrel went all the way out past Kevin Stocker. There it is. Vitalico simply saw the bat out of Galarraga's hands for the 2nd out. This is inside, and see you later, baseball bat. Galarraga had the handle, and that's about it. Stocker had to avoid the barrel. So 2 outs, nobody on, and Castilla takes 1 around the ankles low, 1-0. Castilla 2 for 2 tonight, continues his torrid hitting against the Phils this year. That ball bounces away. It's 2-0. Castilla coming in to tonight's play, batting .429 against the Phils. He's now 11 for 23, just a shade below 500. Prior to this year, primarily with the Braves, he hadn't had much success against Philadelphia. Now it's 3-0. See what he did in his last start. Those 5 strikeouts tied his season high. And he has just dominated the Cardinals this year. 3-0 pitch is a called strike. It's 3-1. Well, after the starters left, the 2 relievers that came on in the middle innings restored some order. Toby Borland, 2 shutout innings. Hit just Castilla, the only runner he allowed, and struck out 2. And Lance Pater for the Rockies has not allowed a base runner in the first 6 he has faced. Count is now full on Castilla.
The Colorado Rockies, Todd, as we talked about earlier, their bullpen is just so much better. They used to be, when they first came into the league the first 2 years, I mean, their bullpen, you could torch them in the middle innings when the starters would go. And Don Eller's bullpen is so much better now that his team is much more competitive.
Remember that first year they kept shuttling guys between Colorado Springs and back, just hoping to find a solution.
They were just looking for somebody to get some people out once in a while.
Batalico with a strong 7th inning, striking out a couple and coming from 3-0 to get Castilla. We head to the 7th inning stretch. The bullpen's doing the job. This game's still 6-6.
Well, seems like we've known each other forever.
Yeah, I know. 2 weeks.
Will you marry me? 'Cause Emma, I love you, man.
Oh, Johnny, you're not getting my Bud Light.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Johnny?
Make it a Bud Light.
Jane?
It's Joan.
Jane, Joan, whatever. I feel like I've known you forever.
Between the two of us, we had 1 chair, a lamp, and a microwave. And lots of bills. Even on 2 salaries, it wasn't easy. What we needed was a loan, with payments we could afford. Our Mellon PSFS banker helped us work it out. It made things a lot more comfortable around here.
Life Improvement Loans. Call 1-800-MELON-2. 1-800-MELON-2.
First, I figured I'd forgotten where I'd parked. And then I knew. I called my husband, the police, and Ken, my nationwide insurance agent.
Willie was upset. You don't get your car stolen every day.
2 days later, my car showed up.
Broken windows, scratches, I mean, nothing major.
It wasn't a pretty sight, but the check sure was. Ken got it to me the next day.
Helping someone, it's a good feeling. That's why I'm a nationwide agent.
Nationwide is on your side.
Catch the sun, have some fun, get a free Pride of the Phillies poster in the final Mellon PSFS Business Person Special when the Phillies play the Expos, Monday, August 14th at 1:05. Good team, good fun, goodbye. Business Person Specials. Call 463-1000.
Offensive explosion early. It was 6-6 at the end of 4, but the Phils bullpen has put up 3 shutout innings, and now Lance Painter will try and do the same for Colorado. He'll face the middle of the Phils lineup, Andy Van Slyke, Darren Dalton, and Mark Whitten, making his first appearance in a Phils uniform. Andy Van Slyke takes a breaking ball from the left-hander, high and inside, 1-0. Painter turning 28 earlier this week. Pitched with Colorado the first 2 seasons they were in existence. Van Slyke grounds one to Jason Bates, 1 away here in the 7th.
One of the guys doing a real good job, and you know, a guy who's not pitching right now on the disabled list is Bruce Ruffin. You know, he did a good job when he was here with the Phillies for a lot of years, and Ruff has got a little arm problem right now, but you know, you talk to their people and they said he was outstanding when he was healthy, and they would love to get him back. Darren Holmes has picked up the slack and is their closer now.
Here's Darren Dalton. He has a 2 RBI triple in 3 at-bats. His 2nd triple of the year. Only Mickey Morandini with 3 has more on this team. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Painter pitched at the University of Wisconsin, where he was injured quite often, but when he did pitch, he was a teammate of the Phils' Paul Quantrill, who will be one of the 2 starters tomorrow in the doubleheader against Pittsburgh. Towards the hole, Galarraga cuts it off nicely to Painter covering, and Lance Painter has retired all 8 he has faced. Now, when Painter and Quantrill finished baseball at Wisconsin, they dropped the program.
There's Galarraga with an easy play there to Painter covering.
So there will be no more Wisconsin Badgers in the big leagues. Painter and Quantrill are the final ones. Mark Whitten will bat right-handed for the first time as a Philly.
And Barry Alvarez came in and took him to the Rose Bowl.
In football.
Yeah.
Paul Quantrill is still not happy about the fact that there's no baseball there. He said that the baseball team was not the program that should have been cut at that school.
And Mark Whitten with his first at-bat right-handed.
He went 1 for 2 against the starter Bill Swift, hitting left-handed, including a single. Almost an RBI, but Jeffries was thrown out at the plate. Nothing in 2 to Whitten.
So when he batted left-handed, he had those hands up by his ears.
A different swing.
A little bit different this way.
Yeah.
A little more upright.
Yep.
and the hands out a little more. Oh, my.
Called third strike on the corner. Witten does not agree with Jim Quick. Lance Painter has retired all 9 he has faced and done quite a job for the Colorado Rockies. We're through 7, still tied at 6.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane,
Frank, we're late.
Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. For smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks, and we think you'll see a difference. A word of advice, though. Maybe you'd better leave the windows rolled up.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Whether you're negotiating a deal,
Okay, if you're good, I'll read you a story.
Come on, make it 2.
calling in an order,
Skip the strawberry. We want chocolate.
scheduling a meeting,
I'm at the big artichokes.
or just checking in with the boss,
Honey, is it okay if I stay another half hour?
the most important thing
Hello?
is that the call goes through. A mobile phone is only as good as the system it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile, the heart of communication. Call 1-800-255-BELL.
Every year, thousands of accidents occur because drivers momentarily take their eyes off the road. To help prevent this, our engineers have spent countless hours perfecting the Nissan Maxima's ergonomics. Shapes have been scrutinized, and key buttons have been sculpted to be recognized by touch alone. At Nissan, the slightest detail counts, because on the road, the slightest second counts. Lease the Nissan Maxima GXE with 0 down and $299 a month for 36 months.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. By your local Dodge dealers. Come in today because we know how to help. By the Yellow Pages, 9 out of 10 people use the genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. And by Pico Energy. We're focusing our energies on you. Pico Energy. We head to the 8th inning. 6 runs on 10 hits for the Rockies. 6 runs on 11 hits for the Phillies. And that has stayed that way for the last 3 innings. No hits for either side since the 4th, as Joe Girardi leads things off against Ricky Batalico. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Well, last night the Phils got behind early in a big way, 8-0, and Omar Olivares did a nice job eating up some innings for the Phillies bullpen. Tonight, Jim Fregosi had to go to his bullpen in the 5th. Girardi hits one deep. Witten back in front of the wall, makes the catch.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Mark Witten that the first ball that he had today kind of boxed out there, because he's not a butcher in the outfield. Far from it. He's a pretty good outfielder with a great arm, and he showed it on this play as he was playing a little shallow, as you should on a right-handed batter, on his offside like that, and then had to make a long run for it. Ball stayed in the air a long time, and he catches it right there at the walls. Girardi hit it pretty well. That's a home run in Denver.
Here's Jason Bates, 0 for 3 tonight.
Say happy birthday tonight to John Warden out in Harrisburg. He is Andy Musser's nephew and a great Phillies fan, watching the game out there. So happy birthday, John.
Kurt Leskonik is warming up in the Rockies bullpen. Called strike, 1-1.
I think the bullpen have kind of put this game under control, huh?
Yeah, that's 7 hits. Jim DeShay's actually allowed more than that. He allowed all 11 or all 10 hits while he was in there. The Rockies could almost have the exact same graphic put up.
Right, the bullpens have, well, they haven't allowed a hit, right? There's a base hit as soon as you say that, right?
Well, you called Bichette's home run. There's a called third strike.
I told you that in the first inning he was due to hit one.
Yes, you did.
And he loves this yard.
So Jason Bates having a rough night after his career-high 4 RBIs last night.
He thinks this pitch might be a little outside. It's a backdoor breaking ball that was outside, but Jim Quick has expanded the plate a little bit, as he showed you calling out Witten last inning, and that pitch there.
Now Walt Weiss, who's 1 for 3, struck out his last 2 times after singling and scoring back in the 2nd. He takes a pitch low for a ball, 1-0. John Vanderwall, who's setting all kind of pinch hit marks for the Rockies, waiting on deck.
Right, he hit a home run last night, but not as a pinch hitter.
Off the 5th, and Batalico with another 1-2-3 inning. What a job for the young right-hander Ricky Metallica. Another shutout inning for the bullpen. Phil's turn in the bottom half.
It's like having a Phillies ticket window come right to your home. Call 463-1000 and reserve your tickets in advance. No rushing, no waiting, no hassle. 463-1000. It's like having a Phillies ticket window right in your home.
People come in and say, why 5 grades of gasoline? I tell them offering only 3 grades would be like selling suits in small, medium, and large. Some people would get a good fit. Some could use a little tailoring. So if you want to know why we give you all these choices, think about the guy who needs a 41 long and picture him wearing a 39 short.
Sir, prisoner 2675 is alive. He's at the insiders camp.
What is this place?
Sanctuary, Mr. Robbins. We've created a new society here, a civilized one. We live under constant threat from the outsiders.
He's military trained, you realize that? Somebody taught him how to kill.
Your Budweiser scoreboard. First of all, in the National League afternoon contest, San Diego doubles up Cincinnati. Florida easily over San Francisco. Chicago by a run over the Expos. Anthony Young with a save in that one. Atlanta defeats Pittsburgh in 10. Houston is shutting out Los Angeles 4-0. And the St. Louis Cardinals lead the Mets 4-3 in the third. American League 4-3 Chicago over Boston. Detroit leads Oakland 3-1. Minnesota 5-3 over Toronto, Texas, and Baltimore is 3-2 in the seventh. The Yankees are pounding Kansas City. Tony Fernandez a home run in that one. Milwaukee and Seattle. Cleveland and California in about 15 minutes. As Mickey Morandini takes a curveball for a called strike from Lance Painter, 0-1.
Phillies desperately need a run here in the 8th inning to save their pitching for tomorrow. By that I mean, you don't want Metallica to go another inning. If he brings Slocum in a tie game, he can give you 2 at the most. You don't want him to go 2. Olivares went 4 last night.
Borland went 7 over the weekend and 2 tonight. So he's gone 9 since Friday. And he went more innings over the weekend than any of the starters.
You saw Mims is out in the bullpen, so he could be a potential tonight.
Not a whole lot left.
Right, with a doubleheader coming tomorrow.
1-2 to Morandini. Certainly the Phils need some innings out of Sid Fernandez and Paul Quantrill, tomorrow's starters. They could have used more than 4 tonight, but the Rockies were on Jim DeShays.
Yeah, and Swift didn't do a good job either. So both starters had a tough night here.
1-2 the count to Morandini, who's 0 for 3. Hooks one towards the corner, and it is a foul ball off the top of the gate there that separates the crowd from the field.
Morandini, they play him over so much, especially against a left-hander like Painter. He gets a ball down in the corner, he can get a triple.
He has painted a masterpiece thus far.
He's been a Monet out there.
3 strikeouts, 3 groundouts, and 2 lazy flies to center. He was hurt almost the entire time at Wisconsin. Really was not looked at as a top prospect coming out of school because of those injuries. Rotator cuff surgery in school and then an elbow injury. So he has been a pleasant find for the Rockies. He was selected from the San Diego Padres in that expansion draft. 25th round selection. 2-2 to Morandini. Off the end of the bat, foul. By comparison, Quantrill pitched with Painter, was a 6th round selection in the '89 draft. Painter taken in the '90 draft. Tried to hold up, but it was a foul tip. Strikeout number 4 for Lance Painter. 10 faced, 10 retired.
Tough pitch inside because he pitched him away almost the whole at bat with sliders and fastballs, and now he comes and busts him back inside. And you see Morandini tries to hold up, can't do it, and Don Baylor's going to come out, and this would appear to be a double switch as he goes right to Jim Quick.
So Baylor wanted Painter to face the lefty Morandini, and now he will go to the bullpen as Charlie Hayes is the next batter. Kurt Leskonic will be the new Rockies pitcher, and Lance Painter did as well as you can do coming out of the bullpen in a game that was all offensive for the first 4 innings. Painter retires all 10 he faces. We're going to have a double switch with Jason Bates coming out of the game. Eric Young will shift to the infield. Larry Walker will go out to the outfield. And we will tell you more about it when we return. The new pitcher will be the right-hander Kurt Leskonic. We're in the 8th, 6-6 ball game.
Schmitty, nobody did it better. Join in a tribute to this Hall of Famer before the Expos game Saturday, August 12th at 8:05, and you'll receive a limited edition print compliments of MAB paints. The Expo series starts Friday, August 11th at 7:35, continues Sunday, August 13th at 1:35, when fans 14 and under get the best backpack to ever strap on a back free, and wraps up Monday the 14th with a 105 Mellon PSFS Business Person Special. Call 463-1000.
Some people hate to stop for gasoline. We do it for a living. Just going from one Sunoco station to another. Checking to make sure a gallon is truly a gallon. That the octane you pay for is the octane you get. That the gasoline is as good coming out of the pump as it was coming out of the refinery. So next time you're moaning because you have to pull over for gasoline, think of us. We have to stop 1,183 times this year.
The 4th of 5 midweek midday baseball games coming your way Thursday, July 27th. That's this Thursday against the Buccos. 105 start. Great fun at the ballpark and great baseball. So call your tickets in at 463-1000 or stop by the Center City ticket office at Mellon PSFS at Broad and Chestnut Street. Eric Young, who was in left field, now changes gloves. He will play second base, taking over for Jason Bates. Moving from right field to left field, but now hanging out in center field, is Dante Bichette, who's a bit of a free spirit anyhow, pointing to some fans out in the outfield. In right field is Larry Walker, who will now bat in the 9th spot. And speaking of free spirits, a left-hander trapped in a right-hander's body, Kurt Leskonic, who used to shave his pitching arm before each of his starts, but can't do so now because he comes out of the bullpen. He will take over for the Rockies here in the 8th as Bichette continues to have fun in the outfield.
Yeah, he tossed the ball up to the fans in the stands who dropped it, came back onto the field, and he had to run back to the wall and toss it up to them again.
Leskonic has been outstanding this year for the Rockies. We talked about their bullpen earlier. No one's made bigger strides this year than Kurt Leskonic. First batter he faces is Charlie Hayes. Check swing grounder, and Hayes is in the midst of an 0 for 31. 2 away here in the 8th. Charlie has really dug himself into a hole to plate the last week and a half. So Kevin Stocker will bat with 2 outs and nobody on.
Leskonic coming into his 43rd game of the year, second in the league to Mike Munoz, his bullpen mate. That's why they were so happy to get that night off last night, because these guys pitch a lot.
Leskonic 3-1, 3.19 ERA, has 4 saves on the year, his first 4 of his career.
Eisenreich now appears in the on-deck circle. He would bat for Vitalico if Slocum or if Stocker can get on. As you look at Eisenreich, and Slocum starts to throw.
Be interesting to see what happens if Stocker does not get on. If they go to Vitalico for a third.
Yeah, they got big problems tonight with this tie game.
1-0 to Stocker. He is 1 for 3 with a run scored. 2 balls and no strikes. Leskonic last year, primarily at the AAA level with Colorado Springs, did make 8 appearances with the Rockies, 1-1, a 5.5 ERA.
Throws a ton of sliders. We saw him a lot last week, and has a very good hard breaking ball, especially the right-handed batters.
3-0 to Stocker, and the Phils will have their question answered right here, because Ricky Vitalico will leave the game for a pinch hitter as Lesconic walks Stocker on 4 pitches.
That's her first base runner since the 4th inning when Witten singled and Jeffries was thrown out at the plate.
For Jim Eisenreich, the batter. Yeah, the bullpen had been perfect up until that point. Heathcliff Slocum will be the new pitcher for the Phils in the 9th inning. Painter and Lesconic had retired 11 in a row. Called strike on the inside corner, 0-1. You see what Jim's done in his career as a pinch hitter, 255, including 3 career pinch homers.
But this year has struggled in that role. It's the only thing he hasn't done real well for the Phillies.
Just 1 for 12 this year as a pinch hitter. Way inside, 1-1.
Eyes is 1 for 1 off Lesconic. And it's a homer.
Those are good numbers.
Yeah.
6-6 ball game. We're in the bottom half of the 8th. 2-1. This crowd tonight expecting about a 10-10 game, and all of a sudden the bullpens have shut the door. And it looked like this is going to be a huge offensive night early on. Way out in front, it's 2-2.
2-1 breaking ball. And Eisenreich swung fastball, it appeared, which, you know, he thought he was going to get. And as I mentioned, Lesconic likes to throw a lot of sliders.
Short hop made by Galarraga, who will tag Eisenreich, who went out of the baseline. So that'll be the final out for the Phils here in the 8th. No runs, a walk, 1 man left on base. Both bullpens doing the job. We head to the 9th, tied at 6.
Recently, we at the Blues met the challenge of the 90s when the Norristown School District employees went all blue with personal choice.
The Blues really came through for the district, saving us almost $2.5 million, money we put into the classroom. The Blues went all out and provided us with the personal choice network that includes most of their doctors and hospitals. No wonder other school districts are following our lead with personal choice. All blue means everybody wins.
Isn't it time to find out how personal choice can help your organization lean on all blue?
Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme meets Ford Taurus head-to-head in the Oldsmobile Challenge. And now, with the special 4.9% GMAC Smart Lease rate, you can lease Cutlass for only $249 a month. Cutlass has more standard power, more leg and headroom, more resale value. But Cutlass is $2150 less than Taurus. And now you can lease a new Cutlass for only $249 a month with no security deposit. Move up to Oldsmobile. Take the Oldsmobile Challenge now at your local Oldsmobile retailer.
The Bud Light Amateur Beach Challenge. They're lean. They're mean.
Oh, they're killing us. Yeah. How about 2 out of 3? I got it.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
What's wrong with her?
make it a Bud Light.
Great things are worth waiting for, and this year's yearbook is well worth it. A full-color, informative collector's book with pictures of all the present Phils and interesting information, along with special sections celebrating this year's silver anniversary, plus a very special section detailing the Phillies' living Hall of Famers, including this year's inductees. This spectacular book is on sale at the vet during all home games for $7, or you can order one by calling 463-1000, or you can mail in your order to Phillies Yearbooks, P.O. Box 7575, Philly, PA 19101. If you are ordering by phone or mail, please add $4 for mail and handling charges. Heathcliff Slocum in his 36th game of the year, 1-0 with a 22 saves on the year, 2.04 ERA. And Heathcliff doesn't come into many tie games, but he's in one tonight with the Phil's depleted bullpen. Heathcliff is second in the league in saves, tied with Tom Henke with 22. Randy Myers leads the National League with 23. Larry Walker has a career home run against Slocum, 1 for 4 with a home run. Batting for the first time tonight, Walker leads the National League in home runs with 22.
They're playing Jeffries over at the line at first. Charlie Hayes off the line at third, bringing Walker more likely to pull than hit a ball down the third base line.
Walker batting in the 9 spot. It'll be Walker, Eric Young, and Mike Kingery. Slocum, the Phillies' 4th pitcher tonight. Jim DeShay started, went 4 innings. Toby Borland 2 shutout innings. Ricky Vitalico 2 shutout innings. Vitalico retired all 6 he faced, striking out 3. Borland only allowed a hit batter, the first man he faced, Vinny Castilla, then retired the next 6. Phil's bullpen has retired 12 straight. 1-1 pitch misses outside. It's 2-1 to Walker. Foul back into the crowd. The count is even, 2-2. Larry Walker, 58 RBIs in the top 10 in that department. .318 batting average, 9th in the league in that department. Top 10 in runs scored as well with 55. Swing and a miss. Slocum gets him. Heathcliff challenges Walker with the fastball and wins. 1 out here in the 9th.
Threw him quite a few sliders in that at bat, and here he goes for the strikeout with a high fastball.
So 1 out, nobody on. Here's Eric Young.
Bunted once for a base hit, and they have to be aware of that. Both of the up at the corners, Jeffries and Hayes, and both guarding the line.
Shows bunt, pulls back, 0-1, called strike.
And that's a good play for Eric Young if he can bunt, base hit, and get on here because he can run.
One and 1 the count to Eric Young, who's 2 for 4 tonight with a couple of runs scored and a stolen base. He has really provided the Rockies with a nice leadoff hitter. After last year spending time in the outfield, this year he is playing primarily at second base, although tonight he started the game in left field. Now he's over at second. Inside, it's 2-1 to the Rutgers Scarlet Knight football star. Three and 1. Slocum walked him after getting ahead 0-1. The next 4 missed, so Eric Young's a 1-out base runner. Young stole his 13th base of the year back in the first when he stole third off of Jim DeShay.
Yeah, and Kingery, the batter now, can move the ball around. You know, he's hard to defense because he sprays it so much. So he's a perfect guy to have up. He can protect Young if he wants to run, or they can play hit and run. Try to get a runner to third.
Kingery with 2 hits tonight, had 3 hits last night as the leadoff hitter, having a good series. There goes Young. No throw. Young has his 14th steal of the year and his 2nd tonight.
Yeah, he's the one guy in their lineup that can run, and that's a guy you did not want to see get on base. And Slocum walked him. He gets a great jump on Slocum there. Dalton doesn't even have a play. He reaches in for the ball, doesn't get it cleanly, so he doesn't throw it.
He represents the go-ahead run here in the 9th inning. Called strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The Rockies are at a point this season where they feel they can win ball games because their bullpen's so good, and they can stay close, and they can beat you with a bomb, or else they can bleed out a run the way they're trying to do now.
Missed outside. It's 2-1.
can get pretty contagious after a while, and I think they're starting to believe in themselves.
Rockies, like the Florida Marlins, in their 3rd year of existence. But unlike the Florida Marlins, challenging for a division title. Kingery maybe thought that was outside. It was a called strike. It's 2-2. Morandini to his right. That's the second out. Young moves to third on the play.
Got him with a slider. Kingery trying to pull that pitch and hit it off the end of the bat.
So now Slocum will have to get out Dante Bichette, who has been feast or famine tonight. A home run and 3 strikeouts. And you can see what he has done against the Phils this year.
Right, and Dalton has to be alert here too for a breaking ball in the dirt, because there's a good runner at third and Eric Young who might try to score. And you figure Slocum's going to try and throw some hard sliders to Bichette at some time in this at bat. There was one of them.
One and 0 the count to Dante Bichette. Inside it's 2-0.
He wants that slider down and away, and he's been putting them down and in a little bit, which is a danger zone for a guy like Bichette, who could just drop the head on it and hit it out fast. There's a better spot.
There you see the other players who have hit 17 home runs or more at home before hitting one on the road.
Yeah, those other guys didn't hit one on the road that year.
The whole year.
Yeah, so he's the only one who's ever done this.
2-1 pitch is bunted. Foul.
Kidding me?
Wow.
Well, if he got it fair, they win the ball game. I'm not win the ball game. I mean, they get ahead. Don Baylor's. Well, I don't know whether he thinks that's a good play or not, but he's saying something about it. But that certainly would shock everybody that Dante Bichette would bunt in this situation. Bunt for a base hit with a runner at third. And as I say, I mean, if he gets it fair, then, you know, there's nothing Charlie Hayes can do about it, because he certainly didn't expect that.
Dante is a free spirit.
Oh, yeah.
Expect the unexpected.
And you really want to go away from him now.
2-2 pitch. See you later. Heathcliff Slocum gets Dante Bichette for the final out and strands a runner at third base. Dykstra, Jeffries, Van Slyke, the top of the order, trying to win in the ninth.
Whether you're negotiating a deal,
Okay? If you're good, I'll read you a story.
Come on, make it 2.
calling in an order,
Skip the strawberry. We want chocolate.
scheduling a meeting,
I'm at the Big Artichokes.
or just checking in with the boss,
Honey, is it okay if I stay another half hour?
the most important thing
Hello?
is that the call goes through. A mobile phone is only as good as the system it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile, the heart of communication. Call 1-800-255-BELL.
Some people hate to stop for gasoline. We do it for a living. Just going from one Sunoco station to another. Checking to make sure a gallon is truly a gallon. That the octane you pay for is the octane you get. That the gasoline is as good coming out of the pump as it was coming out of the refinery. So next time you're moaning because you have to pull over for gasoline, think of us. We have to stop 1,183 times this year.
It's big, and it happens only once a year. The banners are going up, and America's best sellers are moving out. It's Ford's factory-authorized clearance now at your Quality Plus Ford dealer. Get discounts over $1,400 on the all-new Ford Explorer, America's #1 sport utility vehicle. And every Windstar comes with $1,000 cash back. This is one event that's too big to miss. Hurry in now for your best selection during Ford's factory-authorized clearance. Only at your Quality Plus Ford dealer. Be there.
ninth inning. Len Dykstra lead things off for the Phils. Tie ball game 6-6. No one has scored since the fourth. Kurt Leskanik in his second inning of work, his first full inning. Took over with one out and nobody on in the eighth. Walked a batter but retired the other two he faced on ground balls. 0-1 to Dykstra. Way inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Lenny 2 for 4 tonight. Couple of runs scored on a couple of singles. Ground ball foul. Phil's first 3 in their lineup tonight, all with 2 hits. Dykstra, Jeffries, and Van Slyke all 2 for 4. Those are the 3 Leskanik has to face here.
Well, Leskanik has pitches to get left-hand hitters out, and it's that slider.
Popped in the air to right field. Walker doesn't have to move far.
Got him with a breaking ball.
1 away in the ninth. Here's Greg Jeffries. Could easily be 3 for 4 had it not been for a fine defensive play by Jason Bates back in the first. He has singles in the third and the fourth, a couple of RBIs and a run scored. Breaking ball up high, 1-0. High with a fastball, 2 balls and no strikes. Leskanik misses inside, 3-0. Born in Pennsylvania, graduated from Steel Valley High School, then went to LSU. Kurt Leskanik. 3-0 pitch is a call of strike on the inside corner. Leskanik working a little too quickly for Jeffries' liking and calls time. Slider again.
3-1. Pretty effective pitch for him. You know, he doesn't give in with a fastball a lot.
Count is full on Greg Jeffries. Bases cleared, 1 out.
Here comes a fastball in. That's what they want here.
And he tattoos it, but it's hooking foul. Greg Jeffries just missed ending this game on a home run.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a fastball in, and Leskanik didn't get it far enough in, and Jeffries just hooked it. Way out of here.
Out in front of that one, and he goes down swinging.
3-2 slider. They went away from that fastball and went back to his best pitch.
Do you blame them?
Nope. They got away with a fastball last pitch, and there's the slider. Ball has some bite and tumble to it, it looks like.
Here's Andy Van Slyke, 2 for 4 tonight, including an RBI. Back in the fourth. Called strike outside corner.
It might be the last fastball they throw inside to a left-handed hitter. He throws fastball there, but it's away. Good breaking ball. That's why this guy's become so effective, because he can throw that slider for a strike.
Rockies bullpen has retired 14 out of 15 batters. Just a walk to Kevin Stocker. 15 out of 16 called third strike on the corner. Kurt Leskanik retires the Phillies top of the order in the ninth. We're heading for extra innings.
The Bud Light Amateur Beach Challenge. They're lean. They're mean.
Ooh, they're killing us. Yeah. How about 2 out of 3? I got it.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
What's wrong with her?
Make it a Bud Light.
Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme meets Ford Taurus head-to-head in the Oldsmobile Challenge. And now with the special 4.9% GMAC Smart Lease rate, you can lease Cutlass for only $249 a month. Cutlass has more standard power, more leg and headroom, more resale value. But Cutlass is $2,150 less than Taurus. And now you can lease a new Cutlass for only $249 a month with no security deposit. Move up to Oldsmobile. Take the Oldsmobile Challenge now at your local Oldsmobile retailer.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium were formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving, to give you smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks, and we think Power Plus and Power Premium will make quite an impression on you.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Well, you're getting ready to celebrate a special occasion. Why not do it at Phillies Greenwick? Hey, those guys were all down here last night for their reunion, lined up on the field in their unis and waving to the crowd. Imagine spending a full week living, learning, and laughing alongside Boa, Callis, and Lazinski, Robin Roberts, even Whitey. And Jim Fregosi will be there also. What a great way to celebrate a birthday or anniversary, and you can spread the cost up to 4 years. Enjoy it right now. Call 215-938-1200 to save your space in this magical week. You can make that call right now, and they'll get back to you. 215-938-1200.
Almost identical records in extra innings. The Rockies 3 and 4 as Andres Galarraga swings and misses.
And as we mentioned earlier, back about the 5th inning, this is Fergosi's worst nightmare is occurring right now, that he has to use Slocum for 2 innings tonight.
After using Borland and Batalico for 2 each.
Right, with a doubleheader coming tomorrow and a day game after that, and then a tough road trip.
And using Omar Olivares for 4 last night. The big cat.
He's in the dugout thinking, oh man, you need to get him out and get a run in the 10th. Phillies have lost, what?
5 in a row.
5 in a row, right?
5 in a row in extra innings. Stays 0-2 on Galarraga, who was 1 for 4. Could be 0 for 4 on a ball that went to right field his first time up, ruled a double and an RBI. That's Mike Munoz, the left-hander. It's like Darren Holmes, possibly the right-hander.
Right, he's their closer.
0-2 pitch, sliced foul.
With Bruce Ruffin out right now, Darren Holmes has taken over as a closer and pitched effectively. Got a couple of saves against the Phillies last week in Denver.
He's been awesome. 9 of his last 9. Swing and a miss. Galarraga goes down swinging.
Talk about 2 different games tonight. I mean, both starters got pounded, and the bullpens have been great. Heathcliff Slocum can throw that hard slider away to right-handed batters, and he gets Galarraga to chase one. Here it is again. He pulls off it and can't get there.
Both starters allowing 6 runs in 4 innings on double-figure hits, and the bullpens for the Phillies, 5 1/3 innings, 1 walk, 1 hit batsman, no hits allowed, and 8 strikeouts. The Rockies, 5 innings, 1 walk, no hits allowed, and 6 strikeouts. And the bullpens have been dominant.
2 different games.
I mean, absolutely dominant. 1 base runner since the 4th for the Phillies. 2 base runners since the 4th for the Rockies. 0-1 pitch, grounded to Charlie Hayes, who has to back up, and it gets through him.
He got caught in between hops. He was playing real deep, and that first hop, he decided at the last split second he couldn't get to it, and then he had to back up, and the ball played him.
That is the first hit for either side allowed since the 4th inning. First hit the bullpens have given up, and it could have been played.
Rarely see this happen to Charlie Hayes, but he got caught in between on hop, and when you get a hop like that on turf with all that spin, it can eat you up, and it did. Now they change it to an error.
So still no hits allowed by the bullpen. It's an error on Charlie Hayes. 1 on, 1 out. Here's Joe Girardi.
Girardi's a guy they play hit and run with.
Late swing. 0-1.
Almost fell Darren Dalton. Remember what happened to him last year on that ball? Conine hit off the shoulder and broke his collarbone. Oof, that one caught the pad at least. That still got to hurt.
Long night behind the plate in this heat.
See him bringing that arm up. Now, if Castillo were a base stealer, this would be a heck of a time to run after a catcher gets nailed on the point of the shoulder that way.
Check swing, 1-1. They appeal. No swing. That's John Vanderwall in the on-deck circle. The pitcher's spot, occupied by Kurt Leskanik, is due up next. Two. Heathcliff was teammates with Joe Girardi back in Chicago. Battery mates as well. Into left field. Castillo will get to second and hold. First and second for the Rockies with 1 out.
He had Girardi set up for a slider and he hung it. You know, Girardi was chasing that breaking ball down and away, and it looks like a breaking ball that he got up and out over the plate. There it is, a hanger, and Girardi nails it for that base hit.
We talked about all the strengths on this Rockies team. Certainly pinch hitting has been one of them. As a team, they are batting .345 pinch hitting this year, led by John Vanderwall, who already has 18 pinch hits, batting .450 on the year. The all-time major league record is 25 in one season. That was set by Jose Morales in 1976. Called strike, 0-1.
As a member of the Montreal Expos.
Vanderwall pinch hitting for Leskanik. Like Lance Painter, doing a very effective job. He went 1 2/3, allowed just the 1 walk and struck out 2. Slocum ahead of Vanderwall. No balls and 2 strikes. Vanderwall, the former Expo, bought by the Rockies at the beginning of last year. A little bit high and outside, 1-2. Castillo on second. Girardi on first. 1 out. We're in the top half of the 10th inning. Foul tip. Staying alive is Vanderwall. You can see he has paced the league not only in pinch hits but pinch hit appearances. Gerald Perry had a big pinch hit here for St. Louis a couple of nights ago on Prism. Well, when the Phils lost 5-3 and 11 for their 5th consecutive extra inning loss. Perry with the game-winning RBI pinch single. Castillo reached on an error. Girardi with the first hit against the Phils bullpen tonight. 2-2, gets away from Dalton. That'll just be one base off the pitcher's rubber, so the runners go to second and third, even though it went into the dugout. It's a wild pitch, unleashed by Heathcliff Slocum.
Thought they might appeal that to see whether or not he swung at it or not, because you know, he makes a little pass at this one. And that's certainly worthy of appealing. I mean, he got it back fast.
Now the infield comes in.
No, he didn't swing. Good angle from there.
The count is full on Vanderwall. The infield in tight. Slocum out of the windup. This ball is ripped, but hooking foul. Greg Jeffries just missed a home run to win in the 9th, and Vanderwall came a little bit closer here in the 10th.
Vanderwall laughs as he heads back. He just got out front a little bit and hooks it. And this one is closer than Jeffries. Oh.
Vanderwall hit a home run in last night's ball game off Omar Olivares, a 2-run home run. That was his 4th of the year. On the slider on the outside corner, 2 away.
Yeah, what a pitch. A backdoor breaking ball, as Todd said. I mean, this just freezes Vanderwall. He's not thinking he's going to get anything like that, and all he can hope is that ball's outside, and it wasn't.
Great reaction by Heathcliff. He was pumped up for that strikeout.
Well, that's a heck of a 3-2 pitch to that guy who is the premier pinch hitter in the league.
Now second and third with 2 outs, and Slocum will try and retire Walt Weiss.
A very pesky hitter.
A little bit high, 1-0.
Got to pitch to him here with that base open because Larry Walker's on deck.
No doubt about it. Weiss is the man you have to get.
Walker batting in the 9-hole.
That's a strike, 1-1. Weiss is 1 for 4 tonight. He has struck out twice, grounded out, and singled and scored. And he has struggled this year with runners in scoring position. Heathcliff worked out of the windup against Vanderwall, but now he's gone back to the stretch with the same runners at second and third. 1 ball and 2 strikes to White. Looks like he may go back to the stretch. Yep. 1 and 2 to White. Slocum trying to work out at his 2nd straight jam. Darren Dalton wants to make sure that Heathcliff and he are on the same page. Heathcliff had the very unusual circumstance of drawing 2 straight visits from Lenny Webster when they were playing in Chicago once, or St. Louis. You knew it was the Midwest.
Right, it was that Sunday afternoon game in St. Louis.
They went to the mound, they decided on a pitch, and by the time Lenny got back behind the plate, Heathcliff changed
his mind. He kept shaking Lenny off.
Hopefully they won't draw another visit this time. It's 1 and 2 on White. Swing and a miss, he got him on the slider. The Rockies fail to score on an error and a base hit, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. It'll be Dalton, Witten, and Borandini in the bottom half of the 10th.
As a former teacher, I wanted to find out why Norristown School District employees switched their health coverage and chose to go all blue with personal choice.
Freedom. That's what I demand when choosing my doctor or seeing a specialist.
Personal choice makes us feel secure
and appreciate it. I deal with the best doctors and hospitals. With personal choice, I don't have to settle for anything less.
Ask your employer about switching to personal choice. Freedom, quality, and affordability you can lean on.
Every year, thousands of accidents occur because drivers momentarily take their eyes off the road. To help prevent this, our engineers have spent countless hours perfecting the Nissan Maxima's ergonomics. Shapes have been scrutinized, and key buttons have been sculpted to be recognized by touch alone. At Nissan, the slightest detail counts, because on the road, the slightest second counts. Lease the Nissan Maxima GXE with 0 down and $299 a month for 36 months.
The Pennsylvania Lottery has a new game. It's $1,000 a week for life. One more reason to stay alive.
Heathcliff Slocum had a great reaction when he struck out Vanderwell. Now watch him against Walt Weiss. Oh yeah, he got him. Heathcliff loves that closer's mentality, and he was fired up about those 2 strikeouts. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Philadelphia Phillies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Phillies. New pitcher is the leader in games appeared in the National League. Mike Munoz appearing in game number 45 on the year. 2-2 with a couple of saves, a high ERA of 6.15. He is the Rockies' 4th pitcher, taking over for Kurt Leskanik, who did a fine job at inning and 2/3, only allowing 1 walk, no hits, and nobody past first base. The Rockies bullpen has retired 15 of the 16 batters they have faced. Munoz will deal with left-hander Darren Dalton, the switch hitter Mark Whitten, and the lefty Mickey Morandini, as Michael Mims, who started here on Sunday, is in the bullpen loosening up. The Phils bullpen has been depleted as of late, and they have Michael Mims loosening here in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Munoz starts Dalton off with a breaking ball for a called strike. Mims, when he started on Sunday, lasted just 3 innings and allowed 4 runs against the Cardinals. 0-1 pitch is low, 1-1. Munoz is 30 years of age. Spent the entire season last year with the Rockies and was 4th in the National League in appearances. Last year went 4-2. Munoz last appeared in the game Friday night, allowed 3 earned runs, only faced 4 batters. That was against the Mets. Did not record an out. In the air, deep to center field. Kingery back. He'll have a play right in front of the wall. Dalton hit it as far as he could to center field, and Kingery tracked it down about 5 feet in front of the wall. First out here in the bottom of the 10th.
Yeah, that's one of those old pull it a little bit, and everybody's going to go home, but he hit it straight away. It looked like a breaking ball. See, Darren had to pull his arms in just a little bit, so he didn't get full extension, so he could drive it to that part of the ballpark. But it really carried. I mean, he gave it his best bolt that way.
Mark Whitten. In his first game as a Philly, he's 1 for 3, including a walk.
Must be some story if he can come through. Phillies still don't have a hit since the 4th inning. We're talking about this Rockies bullpen, you know, before they came in early on, what the difference in their ball club is this year. In my opinion, it's what you're seeing tonight. They just can hold you down a little bit now. A little bit.
The bullpens have a 1-hitter and a no-hitter going since the 4th.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Fergosi's out of bullets now, and now he has to go to a guy who was a starter all year, Michael Mims,
who pitched 2 days ago. 2-1 is low. 3-1. One out, bases cleared. Phillies trying to break a 5-game losing streak in extra innings.
Good time to sit on something and wail at it.
Ball 4. Witten has reached base 3 times tonight.
See, Munoz wanted no part of Witten then. He knows he has a left-handed hitter coming up in Morandini next, and he just pitched him away the whole at bat. He was not going to give in anything middle in where he could have a chance to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Morandini 1 for 4 tonight with a double. It's a case here where if you bring in Duncan, they probably go to the righty, so you might as well stick with Mickey anyhow. Sliced the other way, 0-1. If Michael Mims comes into this ball game in the 11th inning, it will be his first major league relief appearance. 16 starts for the Phils this year.
I think he's 1 for 2 off Munoz with a triple. Got that at Denver last week.
Triple would end the game here. Fouled back, 0-2. In the Rockies bullpen, they have a right-hander, the side armor Steve Reed, warming up.
Yeah, and Charlie Hayes on deck. What's that over?
31.
Wow. There's Reed.
Rockies set up much better for this game in their bullpen than the Phillies.
Oh my, yes. Phillies bullpen did a great job.
Morandini stays alive.
He had a hanger that time. Munoz was throwing him a lot of breaking balls, stuff away, and that was the first one I think he kind of got in the middle of the plate to him.
Munoz has also pitched with the Dodgers and in the American League with the Detroit Tigers for parts of 3 seasons. 0-2 to Mickey Morandini.
Just had a thumb point like they were going to go to first. And then he looked over and saw Witten was about a foot off, so he saw Girardi give a little thumb point over there like they want him to move over. But I mean, Munoz looked over and says, well, what should I throw over there for?
Sliced foul again. Both teams with 6 runs on 11 hits. We're in the bottom half of the 10th inning. All the scoring and all the hitting done in the first 4 innings against the starters, who are long gone in this one. Bill Swift and Jim Deshaies both lasted 4 innings. Just misses a little bit low and outside. 1-2.
Tough pitch to take.
Couldn't hold up on that one. Morandini strikes out for the 3rd straight time. 2 outs here in the 10th.
Here's a breaking ball that he tries to hold up on. It dives out of the strike zone. Now see if he goes and brings Reed in the ball game as Don Baylor. You know, he's got a good hand and he's using it. Yeah, he's going to bring the right-hander in. Even though Charlie Hayes is in a funk, he's not going to let him hit off the left-hander. I think Baylor feels the longer he can extend this game, the better the chance he has. So you know, he's going to take his shots right now with the excess in pitching that he has in the bullpen.
So the side armor Steve Reed will be the Rockies' 5th pitcher in the ballgame. He'll take over for Mike Munoz here in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Now, the Phils and Rockies only playing 6 games this year, with the strike wiping out more games than usual. So they decided to play a couple extra frames tonight in their series finale. Steve Reed's the new pitcher. We'll tell you about him when we come back.
Its precise handling, they might have named it Import Car of the Day. Had they just heard its quiet cabin, they might have named it Import Car of the Week. And had they merely felt its powerful engine, they might have named it Import Car of the Month. But they experienced all of the Nissan Maxima and named it Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year. Lease the Nissan Maxima GXE with 0 down and $299 a month for 36 months.
Whether you're negotiating a deal,
Okay, if you're good, I'll read you a story.
Come on, make it 2.
calling in an order,
Skip the strawberry. We want chocolate.
scheduling a meeting,
I'm at the big artichokes.
or just checking in with the boss,
Honey, is it okay if I stay another half hour?
the most important thing
Hello?
is that the call goes through. A mobile phone is only as good as the system it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile, the heart of communication. Call 1-800-255-BELL.
That's the side armor Steve Reed on here in the bottom half of the 10th with a runner on first and 2 outs. Reed appearing in game number 37. He has 3 saves on the year, 1-1 with a fine ERA of 2.04. 39 2/3 innings. He's allowed 30 hits and 9 walks, a good ratio there, and struck out more than 1 per inning. And Reed will first face Charlie Hayes with Mark Whitten on first and 2 away. He takes over for Mike Munoz, who went 2/3 of an inning and allowed just 1 walk. Rockies bullpen has now pitched 5 2/3 innings, allowed no hits, 2 walks.
Well, you know, as we mentioned, he knows, Don Baylor knows he has more moves out of the bullpen tonight. So he wants this game, and then want it to end, obviously, but he wants it to extend it because he feels he has a better chance to win this ball game. And he has a closer left, and he also has right-hander Mark Thompson, along with Darren Holmes.
First pitch to Hayes is high and inside, 1-0.
Charlie Hayes in that deep funk that you mentioned last time would love to break out of it here.
Charlie has not had a hit since his first plate appearance at Coors Field against the Rockies in the first game of their series on the recent road trip. That was 8 days ago. His average down to 270. Couldn't hold up there. It's 1-1.
Reed comes from down under, and what he tries to do is make right-handed hitters pull off, as he did there.
Charlie's hit into some tough luck as well during this bad slump.
Yeah, I think he hit a couple balls last night that you know, that he really nailed, but they were outs. He hit a couple balls hard on the ground tonight. But, you know, when you're in one of those things, sometimes a little blooper's the one that'll get you out of it. He's in a mix-up. Charlie, I guess he thinks he's going to get a fastball sooner or later, but I don't know whether Reed's going to give him one. He just keeps throwing that sweeping breaking ball. There's a guy they want to get home, Whitten. Another one. Oh, that ball's outside. Can't hit that.
When things are going bad, look at what the bullpen for the Rockies has done. The Phillies bullpen equally as impressive. They have not allowed a hit. The Phillies bullpen allowed that 1 hit in 6 innings of work thus far. Heathcliff Slocum struck out 5 in his 2 innings of work.
These Rockies are going to have a late night. They're on their way to Houston.
That's right. En route to Montreal eventually.
Yeah, Houston's right on the way to Montreal on their next trip. If the Pirates came in after their game, you know they're here. They're helping the economy right now, Philadelphia.
Whitten on the move. The pitch is outside. The throw into center field. Mark Whitten's going to get to third. So Whitten steals his first base as a Philly and goes to third as Girardi's throw bounced into center field.
Yeah, Eric Young didn't do a real good job of blocking that ball. You know, he tried to catch a one-hop even though he had no chance to get the base runner. I don't think this is a play where you need to block the ball more than anything. Well, no, he had a chance to get him. He had a chance to get him, and he just didn't catch it. Looked like he peeked a little bit. So you try to tag him before he caught it. So Witten.
Line drive. Base hit center field. Phillies win the game. Charlie Hayes breaks out of an 0 for 31 with a single to center, and the Phils win it 7-6 in 10 innings.
There's that blooper we talked about, huh?
That was a soft line drive. That barely found its way, and Charlie deserves that one more than anyone.
And this team desperately needed to win a game like that. It's been a long time. They're basically out of pitching tonight. And Mark Witten plays a big part in the ball game as he steals that base, gets the third on the error, and Charlie breaks the 0 for what, Todd? 31 with that little bloop single. As I said, sometimes a bloop hit can get you out of it as much as anything.
Big steal by Witten, and the next pitch, Charlie Hayes checked his swing on that stolen base attempt.
Now here's Young. See, he tries to catch it and tag at the same time, and he doesn't catch the ball. And you see his reaction there, like, man, if I catch it, I've got him. So little things, and Charlie Hayes gets a base hit, and he wants that bat. He goes back and gets it.
Charlie Hayes breaks out of his slump against his former team, the Rockies, and the Phils really needed that one. They were down to Michael Mims, who started here 2 days ago in their bullpen, and Jim Fregosi couldn't be happier that this game has ended in 10.
Did he need that to happen without having to go more innings in this game with a doubleheader tomorrow? That was a huge hit for the Phillies.
Phils win their first extra inning game in their last 6 tries, and a big one tonight in 10, defeating the Rockies 7-6. Back to talk about it when we return.
We could use another bathroom, but I really had my heart set on a new kitchen. Until the furnace went. But instead of putting everything on hold, I got a Mellon PSFS line of credit. We'll be okay. I got the money I needed, even a little extra, for other important things.
Life Improvement Loans. Call 1-800-MELON-2. 1-800-MELON-2.
The Pennsylvania Lottery has a new game. It's $1,000 a week for life. One more reason to stay alive.
Who's worried about the air we're breathing? Who's controlling emissions and expanding the use of non-polluting fuels? And who's already decreased the pollutants in our air by more than 3 million tons a year? Who? People like you. People who live here. People who know what you care about.
The power was out and I was thirsty. I felt a bottle with straight sides. Could have been a soft drink. Could have been cough syrup. Then I felt a curved bottle, and I could already sense that distinctive taste in the back of my throat. Grabbing a shapely Coca-Cola classic, I retrieved a box of animal crackers, and after taking that first satisfying sip from that Coca-Cola bottle, I shook a few animal crackers into my open mouth. Bummer. Baking soda.
Phillies baseball has been brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who remind you friends know when to say when. By the Yellow Pages, 9 out of 10 people use the genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. By Mellon PSFS, the official bank of the Phillies, featuring full-service evening and 7-day banking. By the Pennsylvania Daily Lottery. Don't forget to play. Proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. By Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. For 57 years, the health insurance company you can lean on.
Phillies win the ball game in 10 innings by the final score of 7-6. What a job by both bullpens. It came down to the Phillies managing just one hit off the Rockies bullpen. It was the game winner, and Charlie Hayes broke an 8-day 0 for 31 slump with that RBI single off of Steve Reed, who came in to face the right-hander. It made a winner out of Heathcliff Slocum and wheels the Phillies bullpen, like the Rockies, magnificent.
Yeah, well, you got to say the bullpen's the star of the game tonight. Here's Heathcliff Slocum striking out Dante Bichette. This was in the 9th inning. to send it to the 10th on a slider away. Bichette hit that home run tonight, but then struck out 4 other times. But the whole bullpen did a great job tonight. Borland, Vitalico, Slocum. And going to need them tomorrow probably, because we've got 2 tomorrow.
Bullpen went 6 innings, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 hit batsman, and struck out 10. We're back with you in, about 17 hours or so. The Pirates and Phillies in for 2. Pirates in for a 3-game, 2-day series. We start you out at 4:30 with our Game Time pregame show with Larry Rosen. Charlie Hayes takes a big monkey off his back as he breaks his offer against his former team and wins the game for the Phillies in 10, 7-6. For Chris Wheeler and Gary Maddox, I'm Todd Callis. Have a pleasant evening, everyone.